Hypocrisy.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Law-Splaining the Interwebs. I'm your host, Nick Ricada of Ricada Law, a small law firm in central Minnesota. How are you? How's it going? How's your day? Productive? Useful? You know, probably got things done in your life? Something like that, maybe? Well, not here. Oh, no. No, not here. Not here at all. Wow. I have had a the hell, hold on just a second. Put these in. What's in the bag? Oh, garbage. That's garbage. It's a garbage bag. Wasn't supposed to be in frame. Oh my goodness. Plug these ear holes. Hold on one second. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Oh. I am a cat, actually. Yes, I am a cat. I did get a new mic arm. This is cool. This is cool for me. I don't care about you guys. Look at that. Whoa. I no longer have a freaking mic stand sitting in my room. Tighten this up. So I no longer have that, which is nice. That's the one productive thing I've done today. I tried to do other productive things. Where are we? Here we go. That's better. I tried to do other productive things. You had penis surgery today? Oh, hats off to you, brother. You win. So I got this. Let's see if I can show it here on stream. I got one of these things. I got one of these. This thing's nice. It does this cool thing where it lets you do some audio processing before like the signal goes into your other software. So you can actually apply filters and like noise gates and all that shit to this guy so that when it goes in, to different programs, you can it'll do that. You don't have to use the individual software. So I'm thinking, because StreamYard has trash audio, just trash audio settings. And so I'm like, oh, okay, well, this thing will let me have a little bit more control over my audio before it goes into there. Because I have the Scarlett 2i2, which is nice, but it doesn't have any of those cool options. Oh, well, I have spent all day trying to get the Apollo Twin Duo to work. And I think I just found out the problem. StreamYard uses Chrome browser inputs. And so you can't actually get the audio signal from the fucking microphone into StreamYard out of the box. There's probably some way to do it. There's probably some great way to do it. But yeah, it's this Chrome doesn't accept an AISO input. So therefore, StreamYard doesn't accept an AISO input. So I can do it in OBS. I can get it running through or ASIO, whichever one it is. So I can get it running in OBS with the filters, and I can like add reverb and sound like God or Jesus or whatever. But I can't do it in StreamYard yet. Anyway, so I've spent way too much time trying to just diagnosing the problem. But I'm on the path to victory. And if there's an audio engineer anywhere near Spicer, Minnesota, because I don't know, God hates you or whatever, and you want to make some money, I will actually pay someone else to do this for me. That would be way better. That would be way better because I'm basically an invalid, right? Like we all know this. I'm crippled. And but yeah, if you want to come to my house and set this up, you can do it. I'll hire you. I'll hire you. Voice meter potato doesn't do it. Voice meter banana might. I think I saw something about voice meter banana doing it, but I'll have to figure it out. So the other there, I think the way that Az and Gary do it, I don't know, but I think they might. Well, Gary doesn't actually broadcast from StreamYard. I think he captures StreamYard. And so I don't know. Maybe I'll ask. Yeah, maybe it is a good idea to ask Az how his. Where the fuck did my? To ask Az how his audio is piped into StreamYard because he uses some sort of soundboard stuff. So I don't know where he's getting that. But anyway, that's just my woes. I hate everything about it. I'm not equipped for this part of the job. I'm not equipped for it. Yeah, I know. I know ASIO for OBS is a plugin. I have it. I can get it through OBS, but I'm broadcasting through StreamYard because that is the most convenient platform right now to share audio and video with guests and with you guys. Not Asmongold, no. As heel versus babyface as. But anyway, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. So that's that. So because of that, sorry, I was planning on broadcasting during the day today to celebrate Fed Day, Fed Opportunism Day, the Fediversary, the greatest Fed known to Fed ever, January 6th, the event that was an absolute miracle for journalists, for the Democrat Party, for statists everywhere, for authoritarians, for Joe Biden. It was the best day. They loved it, by the way. They loved January 6th. They still do. They still do. Did they make it a holiday today? Did Biden go that far? I know he gave a speech. I can't tell you enough how much people in power want January 6th to happen. They want it. They're people, we were scared and crying. No, you weren't. Stop it. You wanted it, and you know you wanted it, and you're glad it happened because it gave you every excuse you needed. Every single excuse you needed. Notice how long it is taking them to prosecute these people. It is taking them over a year. These are mostly misdemeanor crimes. You've got trespassing and various things like that. You have a couple edge cases where people had a firearm on them or something like that, allegedly. You have some people who are known to have engaged in violence, but mostly not. Mostly they don't have those types of charges because it's hard to pick everybody out, right? What they have, though, is they have a whole bunch of people to label as the enemy, traitors to the state, seditionists, insurrectionists, violent usurpers. I don't think any of them are charged with insurrection or sedition. It seems like an oversight for the rhetoric, but I mean, whatever. Okay. They have it, though. They have the media campaign of it. They have the political campaign of it. That's why this is Opportunism Day. They should just call it Opportunism Day. It's everything they could have wanted because the insurrectionists lost. They lost dramatically. They're the ones who suffered the casualty, right? Ashley Babbitt shot in the neck, entering a window. They have so they suffered the major casualty there. Now I know there's some officers who had some related maybe deaths, but not directly on that day, directly attributable to violence. Thank goodness, by the way. Thank goodness. But and frankly, the politicians don't care about the Capitol Police officers either. Neither do the journalists. They're the props. These are props. They're on the chessboard or the little 3D model that they have, and they're happy about it. Of course they are, because it gave the newscasters a story, and it gave them a great story. A story they're still running with. They've been running with it for the entire year. A straight year now, this has been the story. The politicians they'll be running on this, not just with it, they'll be running on it in the elections later this year. Make no mistake. The House will talk about how we can never allow something like this to happen again. The election process, all the election coverage is going to contemplate, who might storm the Capitol. Are there going to be insurrectionist groups attempting to disrupt the election of our good and faithful congressmen and women and our wonderful senators? Oh my gosh, we're so afraid for their families and their children. This is going to keep going through November, at least. So they might as well just commemorate it as Fed Opportunism Day. That's what they should go ahead and do, because that's what it's been used as. That's what it is. What this is a whole bunch of things. You can't actually categorize it as one thing. Might there have been some retarded insurrectionist there at the Capitol that day trying to actually overthrow the government? Maybe could there have been? I guess, sure, possibly. But there was nothing that looked like an organized attempt to actually overthrow a government, right? Like, what was their plan? They had no weapons. They had no provisions. They barely had people. The average age is somewhere north of 35. What are they going to do? What are they going to do if they attain power? What was their plan if they won? What were they going to do to the government? They're going to impose them. They're going to impose themselves on the government. They didn't take the executive. They would have maybe, I guess the idea is that they were literally going to take over Congress. Well, okay. And do what? Hold votes? Pass laws? Make demands? What was the plan? We can't identify one. Can't identify the plan. I don't think one's ever been articulated. There's always just, it was an insurrection. Okay, well, an insurrection is an overthrow of an act of government. So where did that happen? Where was that going to go? Where was that going to occur? I don't think the people inside the building had any plans of overthrowing government. They did a shit job of it, right? One guy took a dump on Pelosi's desk or whatever, which props to that guy. That's funny, I guess. But that's not taking over government. That's not removing Pelosi from power. So what was the purpose? How is it an insurrection? It looked like a lot of tomfoolery. Do you guys remember the video of the Capitol police officer casually walking into the Senate chamber, where there's like a couple guys walking, about in the Senate chamber, and he's like, "Hey, you guys can't be in here." And the guy's like, "Oh, don't worry, they're not going to break anything. I got them covered. We're getting out of here right now." They're literally like, it's the most calm thing. Now, of course, you can contrast it with some of the violent scenes that happened at the Capitol. There was certainly violence, right? There's a mob of people. There's officers getting kind of crushed into walls and stuff like that. Very scary. Would not want to be there. Would not want to be there at all. However, the idea that this is some sort of like takeover attempt, a coup on the U.S. government, is nonsensical. But that is how it's billed. It's how it will always be billed. And that, frankly, is how everybody who's been arrested has been treated. Held for a year now. Well, I guess not all of them were captured on the 6th, so not held for a year, but held for quite a significant amount of time on these things. Many of them not given bail. I think we have over 100 people who have not been processed, have not received their process, right? Have not actually had trials yet. Over 100 people still. They've been sitting in jail a long time. There's an article today about how, do you guys remember the guy whose son turned in the father? Do you remember that one? By the way, That father better have been the worst father on the planet for that one. Um, wow. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. Anyway, there's an article today about how that guy's son has reported that his father is getting further radicalized in jail because I guess he's not done. He's not done shitting on his dad. Like, look, there there are there are plausible excuses for the son being such a giant pile of garbage. Like maybe the dad was really abusive or like sexually abusive, or maybe he was in the liminal order. I don't know. I don't know what it would have been to do it, but something out there feasibly could kind of justify the son's actions. I have no idea, but without some evidence, I'm just sitting here thinking, how could you turn in your dad? How could you turn in your dad or your mom or your brother or cousin? Well, why would you turn in anybody? Why would you even bother? Like, what? Why were you in that? Why were you in the Capitol, idiot? Oh well, I'm going to work. Why are you doing any of this? But that's the son's sitting there saying he's getting further radicalized in prison by the other people there. And it's like, well, you could prevent the radicalization if you just tried these guys, convicted them, let them go to actual prison or not, or get probation or whatever, and everybody could be on their way. But that wouldn't be convenient or expedient. And by the way, I saw Attorney Tom in the chat. It was kind of hard. It was kind of hard because I had to jump. I had to jump to see him because I'm so damn short, apparently. Attorney Tom, with all the respect and love I can muster, I hate you. And frankly, I hope someone cut your legs off at the knees so that you're shorter than me. Take that. Take that. you bastard. Just kidding, of course. Love you, brother. And the best part about the entire thing is we know the truth. We know the truth. The Krigler Show. Yes, I will be talking about Tim in just a minute. I'll be talking about Tim soon. See, the funny part, what Attorney Tom didn't tell you in his little audio, his little cute audio that he played. Oh, he got wonderful audio. They got these little recordings that they do where they gab, gab, gab. They can't stop talking. They're not very good with words. Not like me. I have beautiful words, wonderful vernacular. It's one of those college words that the elites use. I learned it from a book that I read, not while I was in college, but when I read it on my own while I was building a house with my two hands, and my vernacular, very impressive. But Attorney Tom, he has these little recordings that he does, little audio clips that he does. And he said something very interesting. He accused me, I'm very tall, but he accused me of being 5'4". 5 foot. What he didn't say was that he's only 5'1". Take that, Attorney Tom. So anyway, yeah, but just briefly, I'm going to babble on about January 6th. January 6th was one of the most damaging events. Not like the news is saying it, right? The news says it's worse than 9/11. It says it was I think I put in the description that it was worse than if 9/11 and Pearl Harbor had a baby. It was nothing like that. It was not a grave assault on our democracy. It was not a risk to our good governance or anything like that. The United States government stopped for something like 2 hours, I think. Don't we have like annual shutdowns over the budget now? Right. And notice, like, when the US government does stop, it actually doesn't stop. It goes just fine. Like, a government shutdown just shuts down the paychecks of some employees who have to keep working, which is ridiculous. How they have it functioning. Not Congress though. They're fine. They're okay during shutdowns. They'll make it through. But the entire thing. Wait a minute. Is uncivil law in the chat? Oh, There he is. There he is. Yeah. Uncivil law doesn't need to swat me. Well, he would when if uncivil law were going to swat me, he would actually call the fire department and tell them to bring fire extinguishers because he knows they're very deadly. Very, very deadly. But anyway, they make it out like it's the most grave attack on the American people, the American government ever, which is nonsensical. We had a civil war. I mean, I think pretty much any of those battles trumps the Union splitting. I think was probably a bigger assault on the Union itself than anything that maybe before or after. Seems like a much bigger threat that we had then. But anyway, when I say that January 6th was extremely damaging, it's because we gave the government an excuse to have power. We gave them an excuse to reinforce their power, and we gave them a political punching bag with no power but great threat. We gave them a mass of people to build into the giant public piñata to pound on for an entire year and probably for much longer into the future. That's the result of January 6th. It was a catastrophic failure of an insurrection, but it was an immaculate success for authoritarianism. Which will forever bother me and lead me to wonder. When one party dramatically benefits from an event over another, and that's foreseeable, who's responsible? I don't know. And I genuinely don't know, and I never want to think that way. I'm not a conspiracy guy, generally speaking, but there are certain things that do make you wonder because it doesn't take much. It doesn't take many actors to turn a mob into a violent mob. And there's so many unanswered questions about January 6th. Still, questions that the government has answered. There's something like 14,000 hours of video that's still unreleased. Something like that. I don't know. But yeah, we'll never get the answer, by the way. We'll never get it. It's not like that answer is pending on the horizon. People make up, their mind on what the answer is. But we'll never officially know. That'll be locked away in one of those convenient little bunkers forever. Okay. Anyway, I don't want to belabor January 6th too much because it's a day that is, I mean, it has significance, right? It was a significant event for sure, but the weight of the event is undue. In my humble opinion, it is undue. With that said, let's move on to the other topic before we get into the main topic today. The main topic today is going to be in the Wisconsin chop shop case. That's where the kid dismembered his parents, allegedly, and seems to be, I don't know, the guiltiest person on earth after opening arguments. The girlfriend testified today. Now, I think if there is like a dramatic story here, someone got mad at me and said it would be because Uncivil Law and I discussed. Hold on, I'm pulling up the video. Uncivil Law and I discussed the idea of the defense trying to, I think it was colloquially said as frame the girlfriend as the potential murderer, right? To say that she was responsible. And someone said, I don't know if this is a lawyer or whatever, but they popped in and suggested that that it would be obviously unethical and not to let people think that would be okay. Where the hell is it? I'll just have to go to law and crime. Oh my God. Yeah, not to tell people that would be okay. I think they were misunderstanding what was being said there. It's not that you would frame the girlfriend. It's that if there are questions that can be presented to the jury about the girlfriend's involvement, that might provide a path to not guilty for your client, then not only do you make the case, but you basically have to make the case. Like, and by the way, it's the girlfriend's parents' farm. There's weird stuff with her, with the location of his phone on Snapchat. I mean, you can build a narrative. You don't have to say, oh, the girlfriend definitely did it, right? Unless you have evidence that maybe she did it for sure. But you can draw reasonable doubt. You can ask questions and raise inferences. And again, it's kind of your duty to do that. So I think there was a misunderstanding happening. I had this video. Where is it? I'm going to find this video. I had it pulled up earlier, and then I had to reboot my computer, which is the worst. Is it just gone now? Mother F. I wonder if Law and Crime took it down, because they're chopping it up and uploading things. Yeah, where's the... God. Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we'll have to, I'll have to see if it pops up anytime soon. I got this 11-year Lagavulin. Well, I went to my YouTube history, Bainling, and it's not there. So even if I go to the browser history, if Law and Crime pulled it down, I probably still won't be able to see it. Why would you pull down your live streams? It's terrible. I'll try the browser one. Let's see. Where was this? This is way back earlier in the day. Oh, look at all this stuff about, here we go. Yeah. Video unavailable. They privated it. I hate them. I was gonna cover this earlier, but I was messing with audio still. All right. Anyway, I've got this. We'll see if they upload it in a little bit. They're uploading a bunch of clips. I've got this Lagavulin, the Nick Offerman Lagavulin. Oh, check this out. Wait, look at that. I can manually adjust my my focus now from here. I got another new toy. Yay. I got this thing. Wow. This little Sony Bluetooth controller. Cool. Very cool. Now I don't have to stand up and show you my fat stomach every time I want to adjust something. Okay. Woo! Completely disorganized. Oh, here it is. They have it. All right. We've got I've got it. I think someone in chat mentioned it. So you get the credit, even though I found it. I saw your thing and I didn't understand what you meant at first. You said there was like a 23-minute one with a thumbnail with a guy in the picture. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about? But then turns out that's the one of the girlfriends. So we've got it. Anyway, Steve X, what? The HyperX is way better than those? What are you talking about? The headphones? No, the HyperXs are not anywhere near as nice as these. These are much better. Okay. Tim Pool. Let's talk Tim Pool real quick. I'm disorganized mess every day, but today especially. Tim Pool was allegedly swatted on stream while he was live. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I know a lot of people in the chat have, wondering if I've seen it. It's in the title of the video. You tweeted me a recording, a part of the Tim Pool radio dispatch call. Oh, did you tweet it to me or direct message it to me? Because that's the one. Let's see, where is it? You know, so if you just tag me on Twitter, a lot of times it doesn't actually come to me. That's the problem. Where is this? Yeah, see, you allegedly tweeted it to me, but I don't see it. It doesn't show up on my mentions. My mentions. Oh, hey, here it is. Someone just, I just got it from 2 minutes ago. So it looks like Twitter had to update it. There we go. Found it. Damikazi. Thank you. Let me pull this up. If this is just a funny joke about like Jack Murphy or something, you will have won the internet today, but okay, here we go. Screen share. Oh, get out of here. No one needs you. No one even likes you. All right, let's get the audio up. Here we go.
Rescue 1, can you advise if that's a local number to call?
Rescue 1, what was your line?
Can you see if that was a local number that called or if you can get a location on the call?
Yeah, we're working on that now. She's trying to pull back up.
All right. I'm pretty sure this is probably going to be a swatting call. They're shooting a political film inside the residence here. But I do want to check the welfare of the neighboring address there just to make sure.
All right, stand by. I got the number. Stand by. I'll call.
Well, there you go. I assume you guys could hear that. I'm not even looking at the chat. Yeah, so it looks like the cops had assumed it was going to be a SWAT. They're shooting a political film inside. So there you go. Very, very, very good on the cops doing that. But Tim did get a swatting call. There's some surveillance footage. Looks like they had a lot of vehicles showing up, but apparently the officers are somewhat aware of what's going on. Take your swing, take your SWAT. And everybody seems to be fine. The officers allegedly entered the residence or entered the studio, but not like where they record. So they probably came into the green room to check things out, but it doesn't look like they actually made it up into the recording booth, which is a separate room upstairs. So they had, I think Tim mentioned their chief technical officer was there and able to kind of head off some of the drama before it got crazy. They did enter where they record. Okay, I didn't see that on any of the video. Whoa. They came in and were looking through the recording booth. Okay, there you go. All right. Well, okay. Thank you for the correction. As someone who, again, I don't watch really anything today other than audio tutorials. So I didn't see that. I saw clips of them kind of discussing things, but I didn't ever see the officers. So there you go. But yeah, so that's always fun, right? That's a fun thing. The really interesting thing, of course, was Ian Miles Cheong talking about it. That was kind of an interesting artifact of the day was Ian Miles Cheong talking about the swatting of Tim Pool. What did he say about it? Let's see, what did he say? Here we go. Now he all right. All right. All right. Let's see. This is fun to me. This is good. This is good stuff. That's why I'm chuckling, obviously, because it's fun. So Ian Miles Cheong, of course, talked about the swatting of Tim Pool because he he's a political commentator, news journalist, whatever. He talked about it, and it's pretty good. So let's see what happened next, though. Oh, everybody pointed out to Ian Miles Cheong that he swatted someone a while back. Not only did he swat someone, he admitted to it. Oh, here, well, we can play that audio too. Let's do that. Where is it? Here we go. This audio is courtesy of Ryan Cannell of RK Outpost. My brother Fed. I hope you wore your Fed T-shirt today, like I did. Here we go. Here's the Ian Miles Cheong audio.
And hopefully soon the Mississauga police will be paying him a nice little visit. I told them that he was armed and dangerous, because he is. He's got guns, and that he's prone to bouts of schizophrenia and bouts of violence. So he might be in for a treat.
So there you go. There was the audio. Now let's see. He's got, of course, he then had to tweet out an explanation when people started pointing that out. Right? So here we go. He says, a few years ago, a psycho harassed and threatened my family. So I reported him to the cops and they told him to knock it off. Don't mess with someone's family. Also, FYI, calling the cops on someone isn't the same as swatting. Really fucked up what they did to Tim Pool tonight. Oh, isn't it? I mean, I feel like might be leaving some of the story out, right? Like I think he might be leaving some of the story out, like the whole armed and dangerous and prone to bouts of schizophrenia and psychosis. It wasn't just simple threats. This guy, who had a following on YouTube, posted my parents' address on live streams and tried to get people to hack into my bank accounts and emails. I'd already been previously stalked IRL by Benjamin Barber, look it up, so I wasn't taking chances. If you think me protecting my parents, who I care about more than anything, is a bad thing or I made the wrong call, that's up to you. But I truly do not care. I'd happily lose everything to keep my parents safe. In case anyone is curious about the first stalker I mentioned, that's the first stalker. That's not the stalker he's talking about that he swatted. This is a different guy. This is the other one. So, that's that. People can make up their own mind. This is an old story from Ian, but they can. It's just pretty funny that he talks about the Tim Pool thing, and immediately people are like, but you kind of had a thing like that a while back. It was pretty public at the time. So there you go. As for Tim Pool, again, it appears everyone's okay. They had people on staff at the compound. At least when I was there, there's a whole bunch of people who are not in the recording booth, right? There are other people who have other, I don't know what they are, other associations with the show. I mean, different for each person. They may have different roles with the Timcast company. I don't know. Doesn't matter. They may just be hanging out, for all I know, playing Tony Hawk or something. But there's a bunch of people there, and so it looks like the cops were able to mostly keep out of the show and not like shut it down. Didn't have to kick the door down with a machine gun or anything like that. So that hopefully is all fixed, and whoever did that, though, let's be very clear. Whoever called the cops on Tim Pool with a false report that 2 people were dead and that the shooter was threatening self-harm, whoever did that deserves to have their testicles put in a vice and smashed into pulp. But let's talk about the legal aspect of this, because poop snatch brings up a poop natch. Sorry, not poop snatch. A poop snatch is something completely different and a little bit disgusting. Poop natch brings up a good point. Tim is angry about the police not honoring the need for or the request for a warrant, right? So let's talk a little bit of Fourth Amendment law. Let's talk about Fourth Amendment law a little bit. So Fourth Amendment law is your freedom from unreasonable search and seizure. So the key aspect of search and seizure under the Constitution is the word unreasonable. You are not free. You are never free from a reasonable search and seizure. Now, a search and seizure conducted by the government on you is presumptively unreasonable and requires 2 things, typically: probable cause and a warrant. Or probable cause and a valid exception to the warrant requirement. And the warrant requirement can be accepted in a couple different ways. You can have a moving vehicle exception, right? So they pretty much can always search your car so long as they have probable cause. They won't need a warrant to search your car, because the theory is if they let you go, your car can go away. Even if they arrest you and take you somewhere, someone could take your car and it could go away. It moves fast and it has wheels. So that is an exception. That sort of movable aspect exception also gets applied sometimes to shipped packages shipped through USPS, UPS, and FedEx. They don't always need a warrant. They can justify an exception to the warrant requirement in many of those cases. Now, they usually will get a warrant if they can, because if it's a matter of holding a parcel for 4 hours or something to get a warrant, they'll just go ahead and get it. But if they're unable to get a warrant, oftentimes they can go ahead and use the sort of mobility exception. There's a hot pursuit exception, right? If a police officer is chasing someone through like a neighborhood and that person ducks into a house really quickly, police officer has probable cause that the person is in that house. Their knowledge of that person going in the house is reasonably founded and articulable. They can go in. They don't need a warrant to enter if they're in hot pursuit. But it has to be hot pursuit. Has to be hot pursuit. It can't be they went into that house 5-10 minutes ago. You wait 5 to 10 minutes, you might be at that point beyond sort of the hot pursuit window, but it's going to be based on the circumstance. Doesn't matter. You also have a plain view exception to the warrant requirement. If a police officer is in a place that they're lawfully able to be, and they look through something that is clear and openly visible, and they see something that is in plain view that would allow them an exception to the warrant requirement, like a big pile of drugs or someone pointing a gun at someone, like those types of things are an exception. And finally, there's just the catch-all of exigent circumstances. If there's an exigent circumstance that would make a warrant put people at risk or put something at risk, then the police officer have an exception. So in this case, do they need to get a warrant to enter the house? Well, we have a complicated situation, right? We have a complicated situation here because on one hand, you've got a phone call where the officers have been told that there is a multiple fatality shooting and a armed person threatening self-harm. And in that case, if the officer is informed of that, has that knowledge and that mindset, then yeah, they have an exigent circumstance. They have probable cause and an exigent circumstance. They can go ahead and enter the premises. This case is a little different, though. This case is a little different because we now have a dispatch where the police officers, I'm pretty sure this is a swatting call. They seem to have knowledge beforehand. He says he even seems to know what's going on. They're recording some kind of political film inside the premises. So he seems to know what's going on. He doesn't seem to believe that they have exigent circumstances in this case. So why are they busting in the house? That's a question. Now, someone says that was after they went in. If that was after they went in, then that's different. But if they believe and have reason to believe that their call in is accurate, then they really don't need a warrant. Because imagine you get somewhere on a genuine call, there's a sign that says you can't come in without a warrant, and then someone gets offed because the police officer's like, well, shoot, there's a piece of paper posted here. I guess I can't come in. But so it depends. And it depends on the actual facts. But if they knew ahead of time and still demanded entry into the house without a warrant, then there would be a deprivation of a civil right that's protected there. And there could be a lawsuit in that regard. But generally speaking, a swatting, as awful and damaging as they are, and this is part of the problem, is going to be a protected activity, because a police officer generally is reasonably believing that the nature of the call is correct. So they're going to bust in because the risk is that someone dies due to their inaction. So with that said, we need more information to actually assess this, but assuming the police officers believe that it was that the call was genuine enough, that they didn't have any reason to believe ahead of time that it wasn't genuine, then they probably have grounds to enter even without a warrant. And that's something that maybe needs to be addressed in some way, but that's the way it goes. And that might be part of the risk of being a semi-public person, right? Now, I know there's a lot of speculation about who swatted Tim Pool, and I'm not going to get into that because I have no idea and would have no idea where to start. I mean, some people are saying it must be like Jack Murphy or someone from the Liminal Order. I don't think that Tim has been particularly unfair or even unfriendly towards Jack that would merit that. So that seems to be less likely to me. I think the most likely thing is just that it's January 6th. Tim Pool is a known speaker on the right side of the right side of the political spectrum. They know when he's going to do the show. It is the January 6th show. Seems like an adequate time as any for a swatting to me. So who knows? But very, very scary to have that shit happen. Thank goodness it didn't happen to me. But yeah. So glad everybody's okay and that got resolved. So that's the Tim Pool swatting thing. I don't want to spend too much time on it because, well, I mean, what the hell are we even going to keep talking about? I bet you wouldn't call him right wing to his face. Why? What? Am I supposed to say something different than that? That'd be weird. Nero, I talked about Ralph yesterday. Ralph didn't win his court case. Ralph pled guilty. He pled no contest and was convicted. He's very adamant that he's center left. Well, I mean, the perception, I think, of the internet is that Tim is on the right. He might have been center left back in like 1975. Can we get something inspirational? Oh, yes. We're going to watch the testimony of a girl whose boyfriend is accused of murdering and chopping up his parents. I don't know how much more inspirational you can get. Okay. Let's read the super chats that came in. before the show, and then we'll get into that. No, he's center left to everyone. Billy Witch Doctor says, "Hey, Nick, don't know if you've talked about it, but Arthur was arrested in Canada again. Also, the top men's tennis player in the world, Novak Djokovic, was detained in your favorite fake country because he didn't have Le Poke." Yeah, I heard about Djokovic being detained. No jab for him. So now he's been held in Australia, allegedly. And yeah, I did hear that Arthur got arrested again. Arthur, bass pastor Pulowski, has been arrested again in Canada. I don't know what for, though. I'll have to look it up. Hopefully he's out of that Nazi Gestapo camp. Angry Baneling says, "Flag and anthem shipped to India. Why wouldn't they want me to own their quality sweaters? Pure communism. Guess I'll just buy local like a pleb. Hashtag big sad." Yes. And then he says, "Doesn't." That's correct. I did dox my sweater from yesterday to Angry Baneling because he seemed to be very interested in it. I don't know. And so I sent him brand that it was from, and he found out they don't ship to his pretend country. Maybe if you lived in a real country, they would ship there. Countries that recognize that cows are meat, for example. Dragon's Treasure says, "Speaking of opportunism, last weekend to use code SPERMWARS at the Dragon's Treasure. Every sale gets money back to Nick, so you support your second favorite lawyer next to Attorney Tom and get some manly liminal tea." That's at thedragonstreasure.com. Thedragonstreasure.com, a haven for tea and anime lovers. So if you want to get some good loose leaf, hand-picked or whatever, hand-teed tea, you can get that there. And if you use the promo code SpermWars, you get a little bit of a discount, and some money comes back to me. So if you don't use the code SpermWars, it doesn't come back to me and you don't get your discount, but at least you don't support me. So that's good. Smart Star, no, Star Rat Stone says, "Chandler's girlfriend testified today. The most caring, concerned, helpful, understanding, and loving waifu ever. The trust that shithead broke with her is legal grounds for killing in Texas. He played them all. Cat was the saddest." Okay. Well, we'll have to hear it. So that person seems to be on the girlfriend's side. Where do we go? Mac Jerfy says, "Don't you dare cover Jack Murphy's alleged fraud." I already talked about his alleged fraud, his alleged defrauding of a school system of quite a bit of money by taking a double salary, by being double positioned within the company. It's a charter school system in Washington, D.C. area, I believe. There's a book that makes the claims. So if they're false, maybe Jack should address the lady who wrote them. Deadweight Nero says, "All right, Papa Nick, when are we getting the Jack Heteroflexible Hellraiser Murphy versus Gale Popeye's Chimp Event Connoisseur Schuler Gladiator battle?" That'd be good. Yeah, they should argue. But I think he might try and sleep with her. Squizgar says, "Your night streams are destroying my sleep schedule. I'm East Coast and have to get up at 8 a.m. every morning, but I just gotta have my rackets." Oh, speaking of that, by the way, tomorrow is the sentencing of the McMichaels. It starts at 8 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Eastern. I will be streaming that, joined by Andrew Branca. It's going to be, oh my God, it's going to be an early day. And it's going to be a very early day. And then following the McMichaels sentencing hearing is the Supreme Court of the United States. The Supreme Court of the United States will have their hearing on the vaccine mandates. It will be live broadcast. And that, I believe, starts at 10 a.m. Central, I think. But whatever the case is, we'll cover those. We'll cover those, both of those events tomorrow live. So that'll be fun. I don't know if I'm going to sleep tonight or not, because I'll have to be awake very, very quickly. Yes, it's going to be audio only on the Supreme Court. They don't do video, but that'll be interesting. We won't have a decision out of the Supreme Court tomorrow. Most likely, we'll have, they'll take the arguments and they'll go and decide. Probably soon though, because I think the mandate's supposed to go into effect on the 10th. So there we go. Daily Dose says, if he's late, we peacefully protest into his house. Edward Creed says, how many petty fines can I get for the same thing like shoplifting before they put me in jail? It's going to vary state to state and what the actual criminal charge is. STFU says, he's a complicated man, but no one understands him but his woman. I'm just talking about Rick Nikita. Lethal Burrito says, I think Ethan Klein is responsible for the swatting of Tim Pool. He's an attention-seeking man boy and a current meltdown over his own behavior. Oh, his Joe Rogan thing? You know what? Fuck you, Ethan Klein. You know why? Because I had to see that misshapen, hideous monster in a diaper because someone keeps posting it on Twitter. Whoever did that, whoever put that giant, nasty thing in a diaper, or put the picture of him in a diaper on Twitter, you deserve everything terrible that could possibly happen to you. All of it. Gross. Gross. Gotcha Son says in Kermit voice. Oh my goodness. I'm Nikki Rackets and I am Tim Flexible and I like Jack Daniels. Disgusting. Very uncool. Very uncool and dishonorable, frankly dishonorable. Isaac Bowles says, see, Tim Pool got swatted today. Yes. Although apparently you guys all saw it more than I did, which is great. William Jordan says, with Ricada, I'll be focusing on initiating empathetic energy quantum resonance to couple the eigenvalues of my observable spectrum to the self-adjourn operators of my Hermitian Rosen matrix. What? The fuck was that? Donald Gooch says S1 charge capital, S2 step 1 charge capital, step 2 question marks, step 3 government overthrown. Jason McConnell, whoa, with a big super chat. Thank you so much. His 14-year-old niece broke into my cottage with 31 friends. Drugs, booze, stolen cars, statutory rapes. Police said not interested. 31 parents' home insurance canceled. 24 mortgages foreclosed. Crime scenes, F around, find out. What? Okay. Wow. Got him. What was the damn. Oh shit. Where did we go? Back to that one. Next we have Arseninv says the swatting happened 2 years ago in Florida. This is a SWAT of a SWAT. What? I don't get that. Let's see. Kiwi Goes Live says, hey, Nick, have part of my Christmas bonus since I'm in a cheery mood because I got a Series X and an OLED Switch at retail prices. I'll be listening as I play Giant Mommy Simulator 2021 in 4K. What is Giant Mommy Simulator? Never mind. I don't want to know. Automata says, States Amicus has an interesting podcast about January 6th. They go for a theory that the ground insurrectionists were to provide political pressure for allied politicians, call Babbitt a fascist terrorist, etc. Kind of wild. Oh, Slate's Amicus. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Yes. That's the theory that they've been going with on January 6th for so long, that it was organized by people in Congress, like Republicans in Congress organized the January 6th protests, because you got two problems with this. One problem is that there would be no foreseeable benefit for Republicans in Congress to organize the January 6th protest. There'd be none. They would not stand to benefit. They would stand to lose everything. They would stand to literally be convicted of criminal acts for helping organize something like that. And so that would be really, really stupid for them to do. The second problem is that they're Republican congressmen. So doing something really, really stupid isn't actually that far out of the question. So I don't know. Matthew Self says donut operator got swatted once. When he figured he would get swatted, he actually called his local PD and state office and explained that this could happen based on his internet personality. When he got swatted, he was called prior to entry. Well, there you go. Good on him and good on the police. BG Willia says, yes, Tim got swatted after the 2-hour, 4-minute mark of today's podcast at a show. Moto X51 says, when I was 16, my old neighbor reported a break-in at my house, although he was aware my friends and me were there. The result was 4 guns being pointed at us by police and a $450 ticket for weed. Damn. Red Dragon 412 says, shame on your Polish descended person for failing to pronounce Pawlowski, yeah, correctly. Polish is easy. If there's a W, pronounce it a V. If there's an L, pronounce it a W. If there's a Z, huddle in the corner and cry. Eric778 says, wouldn't say that to Tim's face. Haha, what would Tim do about it? Pout. My money is on Nick in any kind of confrontation, even though I know nothing would come of it. I mean, I just don't think Tim would care. If I said, oh, by the way, a bunch of people think you're a speaker on the right, was he going to scream at me or something? I think he'd go, yeah, I know. I'm actually center left, though. That's probably how it would go down. Next, Snuggle Struggle says, never forget October 6, 2018. It was worse than September 11th. The Women's March insurrection requires a committee, those participating arrested. Was that the Kavanaugh one? Where they tried to storm, where they did storm the Senate, the halls of the Senate during the Kavanaugh hearings? Or was that the one where they had the violent clash at the gates of the Capitol? I can't remember which one it was. Brittany Venti asks if I'm a himbo. What the hell's a himbo? Join the bimbo side? What do I have to do? How do I do that? I mean, I already do naked hot tub streams. Is that enough? Versi says, have you ever accidentally poured too much alcohol in a glass and think, oh no way, that and pour it back? No, you just go ahead and drink it. Speaking of, say bimbo power. Bimbo power? Bimbo power. Okay. I hope that helps you. I hope that's what you're looking for. I don't even know what definitions are anymore. Like, what is, someone says alcoholism. Have you ever tried pouring liquor back into a bottle? They make the nozzles very small. You can't do it. I don't even know what a bimbo means anymore. Right? Toxia says, girlfriend's brother passed away in his sleep. Her mother is blaming herself for not recognizing carbon monoxide poisoning over the phone. Could you please say a prayer on their behalf to help them through the pain and to find peace? Toxia, I will. I really do hope that peace, wisdom, and discernment fall upon them, and that they find it in themselves to realize that accidents happen and they're not responsible for all of them. And a perceived failure doesn't mean an actual failure. So peace to them. That's awful. What's up with Ted Cruz, by the way? I keep seeing all this stuff about Ted Cruz, and I don't. Tucker called him a liar to his face. What's going on with Ted? Like, what happened with Ted Cruz? He's killing a future presidential election. He said January 6th is a terrorist attack. Ah, dumb. Very bad. Well, there went that one. On balance, I like Ted Cruz, but man, that's not gonna get you where you need to be. Brad Patterson says, Ricada, why aren't there any lawyers standing up for those who are locked up without any due process from the fake insurrection injection? I mean, there are. Many of them are represented by counsel. Why can't lawyers come together and protest the unlawful caging of nonviolent acts? Lawyers they're represented. Many different lawyers have made statements about it, have filed motions about it, and they just don't seem to be able to win. But if you're looking for lawyers to protest for something that happened on the right, you've really only got like 4 or 5 lawyers in the entire nation who qualify for that. So like the protests would be embarrassingly small. Gates of Above says Tucker went in on Ted like Jack Murphy went in on his back hole. Damn. You know, then Ted Cruz spent 10 minutes Geiga alpha splaining to Tucker on how it was okay to say that. Why is everybody so bad at this? God, I feel like I could be a senator just fine. Lol. Nah. Like all the time. That'd be the answer. I don't want to be the senator though. I don't want to take the pay cut. Sounds terrible. Okay. All right, let's go. You could. No, I can't. Guys, if you think I could get elected as a senator in Minnesota, I got news for you. There's a picture of me in blackface, and I have spent several years calling many women very fat names, the fattest of names, super fat, and only because it's true. But I don't think there are not many people who can move from broadcast to politician. It's I pretty much gave up on that the first time I picked up a glass of whiskey in a lawsuit. Counterpoint Ralph Northam. Yeah, but he was a Democrat. They love those. they love blackface. They're fine with it. What could you? I could not imagine. I would be kicked out of the Senate. I would break the rules of decorum every day. Mike Sullivan says, first heard of you from Bronca covering trials like the recaps. Late last week, found the live show at Drex. Great show. I laughed till I almost cried. The beards were great. Now found myself watching every night and join your locals as well. Awesome, Mike. Thank you. I'll probably do, I wanted to do one today, but I'll probably do a locals exclusive video very soon. I'll announce it on YouTube and stuff when I get it up there. A locals exclusive video talking about January 6th in a little more detail, because we can't really talk too much about it, right? I can't even give a sympathetic to the community guidelines discussion about January 6th and the causes of it and what might have motivated people to do it, because I can't talk about that subject because YouTube is so damn sensitive about how you even approach that subject that I can't say it on YouTube. Speaking of which, I do have to pour one out right now. We need a toast. Because something has passed. Something happened today. It's really, really important. So a brief toast. You were a nasty son of a bitch. You were with me for way longer than you should have been. You were ungodly. You were disgusting. Everything about you was built on a lie and was a fiction, and fuck you forever. You won't be missed. That was a toast to my community guideline strike that expired today. It's gone. It's dead. Oh, geez. That thing can fuck off. I got a community guideline strike for election misinformation when I said, now understand when I say this, I said literally the truth about the election. And I don't mean like literally the real truth that you learn on Telegram or something. No, I just said the actual true things about the election that are actually true, nothing even controversial. What I was talking about, I was responding to a super chat. This would have been 3 months ago today, or 90 days ago today. I was responding to a super chat about the Arizona audit report that was coming out. And I basically said, I'll summarize so I don't get another one, but I basically said the Arizona audit report is going to basically be nothing. Like, it doesn't matter what's in the report because it's not going to change the outcome of the election. Because it doesn't matter what they find. It doesn't matter if they find this many things here, this many things here. It doesn't matter because the election is set, and the audit report would be useful for eliminating future issues, for heading off those future issues through legislation in Arizona. That's what it would be for, and maybe for spurring other states into taking similar actions if they wanted to. That's the gist of what I said. And they determined that was election misinformation. And I'm like, but I didn't say anything like that at all. It was complete crazy. So again, the audit report, if you noticed, didn't do anything. It couldn't do anything to the previous election. It wasn't able to do that. There would have to be dramatic other action to get something to happen from that audit report. The idea that a state can just decertify an election result, something like 10 months later. I mean, they might be able to, they might not. We don't really have any law around that. They would have to make all of this law up. It was a massive uphill battle. It wasn't really going to produce anything like that. Now, I know a lot of people wanted it to produce something else, but I was just talking about what was the likely outcome. Turns out, of course, that I was correct because, I mean, it's kind of a basic legal question in the sense that unless something novel and massive were to happen, we just don't have any evidence that we can do something like that. Maybe we should have something like that. And I think that's the value of these audits in a certain way is I think 2020 showed us that we don't actually have knowledge of our own. And when I say knowledge, I mean of the facts surrounding our individual elections. We don't, as a people, we don't really follow up, right? 2020 was shocking to so many people because they all went, holy hell, we actually have no idea what happens. And so that was a learning point for us. And I think 2022 and 2024 are going to be very different circumstances with a lot more active people because of that. Because they saw that fighting against the election machine is extremely difficult because the courts don't want to deal with it. Of course they don't. You want to be the judge that did it. I mean, some people say yes, but you got to understand that judges aren't people. Judges are weirdos. So now we've got people who are in a much different place and probably campaigns in a much different place than they were in 2020. And we'll see how that impacts going forward. And like I said, maybe we should change some of the things, some of the processes, open it up. I certainly think we need a lot more transparency about who's counting votes, about how votes are counted. I think all of that is good. We're doing democratic based elections, then they should be open and transparent as can be, and they should be robustly protected as much as possible. So I think there's grounds for those discussions. Unfortunately, we can't have them on YouTube, so I'll have them on locals. I've already said too much. But oh damn, I see drama in the chat. Now I'm excited. What was it? Oh. There you go. Okay, Debbie. You got me. BG Willia says 21207 says, my bad. Tim got swatted after the 50-minute mark. Squab says, hey, Nick, I threw the big coins at you in locals, but the Discord bot won't give me a role. Let me in. I'm a computer science student and can help with the code if needed. Yeah, the bot on Discord is having issues. So I think if you DM me, we can get you fixed up. If you DM me, we can get you fixed up on Discord, or you can DM me on Twitter and just, you got to tell me who you are, or email me, or message me on local, something. We can get you fixed up. Kyle Bogue says, I just asked my wife, who is a teacher and a Democrat in Minnesota, and she said she'd still vote for you. No, what, Kyle, I said, of course, the Democrats, I'd probably get a good Democrat vote because of the blackface picture. Tell her thank you. It's very much appreciated. Okay, let's get into this. So here we go. We're going to move on to the case of Chandler Halderson. Chandler Halderson is accused of shooting his parents, his dad in the back. We don't know what happened to his mom because all they ever found was like part of her legs and a foot. But the dad was shot in the back and then chopped up and distributed into various areas of Wisconsin. Areas that, see, and this is where if this were a TV show, where the drama goes, right? Because Chandler was, or the body parts were distributed in some places that Chandler frequented, like the secret swimming spot that he had in the river or whatever, was one. And then the other places, though, were on his girlfriend's parents' farmland, which is a little bit weird. My camera output is fuzzy. Maybe this is up too high. There, that should be better. This video has cross. You need this one. What? No, this one is the beginning, I believe. Because there was a guy on at the very, very beginning of it. But we'll see. Brad Patterson. Brad Patterson says, thank you for your voice, Ricada. Sorry I wasn't up to date on lawyers. You, by far, my absolute favorite law to listen to because you don't hold back as Viva and Barnes do. Please never hold back. Absolute truth matters. Look, I will always, the reality of speaking on someone else's platform is that we will always have to moderate speech to some extent to be within community guidelines. However, I'm always looking for ways to expand that into, places where there are less strict standards. But you have to balance it with getting, as much of a message out as you can, right? That's the tough part of this. So, it's balancing, reaching the most people through a platform like YouTube, or Twitch or whatever, but also being able to say what you want. And that's why I have a locals page, is because it gives me a little bit more flexibility. And on this subject, I can certainly use that locals page for it because, it's not going to be able to say some stuff on YouTube. A Great US says January 6th, apparently 3 Americans were killed by Capitol Police / the deep state. That's from Gateway Pundit. And then Great US sent another clip, one of those killed by DC police. Great US also says, TMI, wanted to get this off my chest now that it's resolved since it's night. Here we go. First week here, I had ingrown hair pimple near penis and somehow tapped into a nerve. 7 out of 10 pain in balls and 5 out of 10 pain in penis every time I moved. Oh well, at least no mods and paying only 5% to Odyssey to post. Thank you, Great US. That's amazing. Fantastic. Great US also says reality check. No one watching Timma thinks he's on the right. Fuck no, Tim is not on the right. Only Maj. A major change is he's pro Second Amendment. FFS, he still thinks leftism equals collaborative and rightism equals competitive. Man, face palming emoji. Yeah, but it doesn't matter what people who watch Timcast thinks, right? It matters what the prevailing political narrative about a Tim Pool would be. My opinion, it would be that he's right leaning, but maybe I'm wrong on that. Happy to be wrong. Thank you for sharing your penis story, though. You know what's amazing about Odyssey is a $5 Odyssey super chat sends more money to me than a $10 super chat sent on an Apple device through YouTube. That's crazy, by the way. That's crazy. Okay. Here we go. To the right of Mao is basically far right these days. Oh shit. Gates of Above says this guy definitely ate parts of his parents, right? I think it had to happen. Look, if you're gonna chop somebody up, you may as well take a bite or two. You got to nibble, right? At least nibble. Sleeper 789 says my buddy has a farm in Dane County, 20 minutes from where this happened. He hasn't found any body parts, but he did find 35 illegally dumped cattle carcasses in a ditch on his land. There you go. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So we're drawing the line at taking a bite? You can murder someone and chop them up. But it's like, but look, if you grab like a little finger and treat it like a baby corn, like that's beyond, that's too far. That's the line. Okay. Well, look, I always like to know where the line is. Apparently, I mean, I guess I'm in the minority here. If I'm murdering and chopping someone up, I'm going to take a bite. You just got to try it. Like, when else are you going to try it? People die. They didn't just die, right? Like, the idea is that he killed them and chopped their bodies up with a hacksaw. Sarsarin's day friend says, I'm fucking dead. Well, don't be around me. I might take a bite. Be terrible. Not parents, but your parents probably taste most like you. That's probably the most accurate you're going to get. All right, here we go. Let's do it.
Couple questions.
Okay, here we
Is it okay if I call you Kat?
Attorney Vera.
Thank you.
Wait, is this cross exam?
Kat, is it okay if I call you Kat?
Yes.
I just have a couple questions for you, so I won't keep you here super long.
Yeah, this is cross exam. God damn it. Hold on. Let me get the previous one.
Hi, I'm Dan Abrams.
Shut up, Dan Abrams. Okay. Here we go.
Middle of their.
Here we go. All right, so he gets done.
That's it. Thank you.
Redirect.
Just a couple quick questions. Doctor, with self-report symptoms such as nausea or headache,
Whoops.
is the information you receive from the patient
Get into patient proof.
accurate?
You're Catherine.
The gray coat right there.
Okay, here's the girlfriend. Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Good morning. Well, good afternoon. Sorry. Ms. Melander, first, let me ask you, because I was preoccupied, I didn't hear. Did you verbally answer yes to the oath?
Yes.
Thank you. Secondly, are you in a position where you believe you can safely and responsibly testify without wearing a mask?
No.
You need to wear your mask in order to believe you can protect yourself from.
Bullshit. Get the fucking mask off. Get the mask off.
I mean, from the virus and
Yes.
safety concerns. All right, then I won't force you to take off your mask if you believe that is true.
Thank you.
All right.
You work in the healthcare field, do you not?
I do.
Okay.
Okay.
Could you please state and spell your name for us?
Catherine Melander, Cathryn, Melander, Mellender.
And ask you to grab the base of the microphone and pull it really close because the fans are on.
Just go ahead and grab the base. Pull it really close. Yeah, just grab that microphone with your hand. Just right by the, just tug it right at the base and pull it close. Oh, yeah. By the way, guys, if you're liking the show, please go ahead and click like. It helps with engagement. It helps with everything. And, you know, it lets me know that the show doesn't suck. Which, I mean, I can understand if during the first hour you didn't click like because it was really slow. Tara Rayner says, please play video of real January 6 plotters that I DM'd on Facebook to you Twitter banned permanently. Your favorite Canadian in Gambo panties. Please watch the clip in the leaked Zoom of Governor overthrow by Lefty Nuts from October of 2020. I'll check it out in a little bit. Squabs says, who is defending him? Looks like more than one attorney there. How can a guy that has lied about his jobs afford an attorney, let alone a team? It might be the public defenders. I have no idea. And Geist XX says, this whole case is giving me John LaJoy's cold-blooded Christmas vibes. 5x5 says maybe he wanted to taste the dead body for his next job at CNN. That's true. Great US says YouTube Apple users, hint, stop super chat on YouTube and get on Odyssey. That's from Great US over on Odyssey. Thank you. Thank you, Great US. Much appreciated. Okay.
That creates a level of noise. Your voice is on the softer side and you have a mask. So
Okay.
being up really close to it will make sure we can all hear. Thank you. Go right ahead.
You go by Kat, correct?
Correct.
Can I call you Kat today?
Yes, please.
Okay. Kat, how old are you?
I'm 21 years of age.
And do you live here in the Madison area?
I do live in the Madison area.
Okay. And do you know someone named Chandler Holders?
I do.
How do you know Chandler?
I think she should be
We were
required
in
to
a
take her mask
relationship.
off.
Okay. At this point, something's going to happen. The judge is going to ask everyone out here to lower their mask, and I'm going to ask you if you see Chandler in the courtroom. It's one of the strange things we're going to do. So the judge will go.
Don't say anything until everybody has remasked. If everyone can lower their masks for a count of 3, 1, everybody within the courtroom, except in the jury box, 1, 2, 3, replace your masks.
Is Chandler in the room here today?
Yes.
Can you tell me where he's sitting and describe what he's wearing?
It's over there with a blue tie and
One of
a
the
blazer.
attorneys is a
Yes,
waifu.
reflect identification of the defendant.
It shall. Thank you.
When did you first begin your relationship with Chandler?
In August 2019.
And how did you meet?
We met through a friend.
What was Chandler, what was going on in his life when you first met? What was he doing with his life?
He was attending college. He was living at home and preparing to move into an apartment. Dog sitting quite often.
And where were you in life? What were you up to when you first met back in 2019?
When I first met Chandler, I was going to school as well, part of Student Senate, doing shows in the theater department.
Doing shows.
What types of things did you and Chandler do in your relationship? Did you go on a lot of dates together?
Yeah, we would grab dinners, have movie dates, just sit at home and watch movies, go on walks quite often, play with the dogs. That was a big thing. We loved playing Frisbee with the dogs.
This is Wisconsin.
Start shows together.
Around 2019 and 2020, and then obviously into this year a little bit, or the last year, 2021, how would you and Chandler communicate with each other? Just by calling each other, or were there other things too?
We would talk on Snapchat, text, FaceTime, and call quite often.
Do you think maybe she like only did her makeup from here up? Like that'd be interesting, right? Like from here up, it's all smooth, and then she takes off the mask and it's all pocked and like she's got zits and stuff. And I like this has no legal thing, but the jury is looking at this person, right? And they can't see her face, so they're gonna make like some determinations and stuff. I like this this like, what's it called, like an ombre or reverse ombre or something, with the gray streaks are interesting to me. Kind of like it. It's good. Her eyes look dead. Well, that's because she murdered 2 people and had her boyfriend chop them up and then blamed him for the murder. I'm just kidding. That's a joke. That's a joke before I get sued for defamation. That is not meant to be taken seriously. I have no idea if she actually murdered anybody and ate them. You didn't say eat before. You shut your mouth. Giggles 61155 says, have an interesting law question here. If I hired a prostitute as a porn actress with contract and everything, am I soliciting prostitution? We were having arguments at work about this last night. It's really going to depend on what jurisdiction you're in. That's going to be very jurisdictional, specific, because some places do not have permissible prostitution or permissible laws around the production of pornography. So you have to be, it gets a little bit more, I think, as a base, that the payment has to be in contemplation of specifically having a contract for the production of an artistic work for display, either publicly or privately. That would be the idea. The fact that she is a prostitute and that you're paying her, it would also probably depend on the rate that's provided, because from what I hear about some of these hoes is they're pretty cheap on the prostitution side, but doing a pornography scene, I have heard somewhere between $1,500 and $2,500 for the actress, which is the saddest thing I've maybe ever heard about the going rate for depraving yourself and debasing yourself in front of potentially millions of people when your free video gets uploaded to Pornhub or whatever. But of course, I've also heard that prostitutes are significantly cheaper than that as well, which I was always surprised by. I figured prostitutes cost a whole lot of money, and people are like, no, it's like $20. Really? But yeah, no, it's I think it's going to depend on the nature of the contract and probably on whether or not you follow through with the actual production. You may need to have some licensure to do that production. And yes, and to think that Jack did it for $3.50. Now, I think the more interesting question is if you can hire a prostitute to come to your Chatterbait video and lick your butthole. Like that to me is right. Like that's the, joking aside, that's the genuinely interesting question, because you can't pay a prostitute, and Chatterbait is like the production of a pornographic video, but because it is producing a presumptively pornographic video, but it's not the same as shooting a movie. So that's the interesting thing. What if you're like, no, it's $69 for $69. Don't worry, it's a good deal. I'll cut you in halfway. And then you get your $69 for $69 or whatever. And then you tell her, oh, by the way, that $69 was in Chatterbait, Chatterbucks or whatever. So you only get, it turns out it's $3.50. So I'll give you $1.75 for it. Yes, it's a 50-50 split. It was perfect. It's the greatest plan all along. Okay, here we go. Back to this.
Would you also, so it's text, Snapchat, call, FaceTime?
Mhm.
Would sometimes you start communicating about a subject on one and then switch to another and then switch back?
Yes.
Fair to say you communicated or you texted a lot with Chandler.
Yes.
And you've seen in this case, probably at some point, printouts of even just a couple of days of your text messages, which are hundreds of pages long, right?
Yes.
Did you ever text him about eating flesh,
Did
human
you have
flesh?
any sort of relationship with Chandler's family?
Yes.
Let's start with his brother, Mitchell. Did you know Mitchell?
I did know Mitchell.
Tell me about your relationship with Mitchell.
I would hang out with him at the family events, be it like a dinner or for the holidays. We had a game night at his home once with Caitlin and Chandler and myself. Usually see him during family events.
What about, let's start with Bart. Did you have a relationship or how did you know Bart Halderson?
I knew Mr. Halderson through Chandler. I would be at their home quite often, and he would show me fishing tips, or if I was cooking, him and Mrs. Halderson would be in the kitchen, and we would have game nights quite often. And we would also play Mario Kart together a lot.
Okay.
I cry when I have to play Mario Kart too.
I have an energy.
What about Krista? Could you tell
she
me
got
about your
COVID.
relationship with Krista Halderson?
Mrs. Halderson and I, we would text often about what we're doing in our lives and talk about the dogs and Chandler, and like we would talk about recipes and food we want to try, and if I was cooking them something from my culture, she would always be excited and we talk about it and always
From
talk
my
about
culture?
game nights and wanting to do a girls trip to Disneyland together.
If I would cook her something from my culture, what culture? Did I miss something? Pika Rap says, my friend at Law and Crime was bitching about you using their court videos. Is there anything short of lawsuits that would stop you? Big fan, just curious. No. What? Law and Crime thinks they have exclusive access to publicly broadcast proceedings? I mean, no. Oh my goodness. Well, they'll have to review the law on copyright, I suppose. Gates of Above says she set herself up. She played Mario Kart with the parents, got mad she lost. She killed them, chopped them up, ate a bit of them, and framed the boyfriend. No, but if Law and Crime has an issue with it, they're welcome to email me. I will definitely probably have a completely reasonable response for them. But yeah, no, I mean they're broadcasting a public event, factual in nature, and I'm adding significant transformative commentary to it. So I don't know. First of all, their copyright on the broadcast itself is going to be pretty thin. Second of all, fair use is going to, transformative nature of the work is going to be pretty significant as well. They're doing just fine. They had a lot of people watching today, something like almost 10,000 watching their coverage that involves zero commentary. I mean, they're doing great. Good job. I should start broadcasting and take some away just because of what they said. Just kidding. I might actually start broadcasting it next week. I just have not had time this week during the day to do it.
With her, I and Caitlin.
You texted often with Miss Halderson?
Yes, I did.
Positive relationship, a good relationship?
Yeah.
Did you like her?
I did like Miss Holderson a lot.
Did you like Mr. Halderson?
Yes, I did.
No.
You were over at the Halderson home quite a bit,
Very often, yes.
and that's over in Windsor, Oak Springs Circle.
Yes.
I'm going to object to leading. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'll sure. Whereabouts?
Leading questions.
We'll withdraw the question and I'll ask it again. Whereabouts did the Haldersons live?
They lived in Windsor. Past that big church. I don't know the road of it, but it was past a big church right by a pond.
When you were over at the house, did you mostly stick in one spot, or did you kind of treat it like your own home, go wherever you needed to go?
I would go wherever I needed to go within reason.
Back in June of this year, just before maybe everything that we're going to talk about happened, were you over at the Halderson home and had an occasion to maybe go in the basement?
Yes.
Why did you go in the basement while you were over there?
I went into the basement to grab ice cream and soda to make root beer floats with Mr. and Mrs. Halderson in Chandler.
And this is sometime in, when is it?
June.
And why were you going to the basement to grab those items? Where were they? They were in the basement?
They were in the basement in the freezer.
Okay. The Haldersons had a freezer in the basement?
Two.
There's leading questions going on.
I mean, not.
I'll sustain. Go ahead and phrase carefully.
Tell me about what freezers the Haldersons had.
They had a chest freezer and
Okay, so this is kind of interesting what happened there. They objected because there's leading questions going on. The question that he asked wasn't actually leading. She said she went down to the basement to get something, to get ice cream or whatever. And so then he's like, in the basement? Like, why was the ice cream in the basement? He's asking clarifying questions. Are they technically leading? Maybe. But what you end up with a lot of times in these foundational issues at the beginning, like these are not critical facts to the case. So a lot of times just to kind of get through the foundation, you'll kind of let leading questions go. But I mean, credit to them for objecting. The objection seemed a little weak to me on that one.
and then a tall one, kind of like a fridge, but it was just a freezer.
Okay. And did you have an occasion ever to go in the chest freezer?
Yes.
And what types of things were in there?
Mostly fish, specifically salmon, veggies. Sometimes they'd keep ice bags in there.
Was it full?
Yes.
The other freezer, did you have occasions to go in that on occasion?
How many
Just
occasions?
Once.
Okay. And was it being used in full?
Yes.
Is there a screen on in front of you right now?
I wonder what's up with
Okay.
the freezer.
To show you exactly.
Like he needed that. He wanted that freezer in there for some reason. And the fact that they're full, like, well, he could have stored the bodies, but he couldn't because the freezer was full. I think that must be coming, maybe.
Exhibit 21 has been received into evidence in this case. I think we went too far, Judge. There was a happy medium there in a second. Well, that's what we discussed.
Oh, okay. The Thedia says plot twist. She was having an affair with the dad and the mother.
There we go.
Damn.
There's a little bit of a glare on that, but is
A little bit.
Look to be the Halderson's basement or something else?
Yes, it's the Halderson basement.
And that chest freezer that's open right there, is that the chest freezer that you had been in previously?
Yes.
Been
And was it
in?
full when you saw it in June?
Yes.
She was in the
Was it
freezer?
sitting like that open when you saw it last?
No.
Was it in that general location when you saw it last?
Yes.
In your relationship with Chandler, was there a lot of discussion about money?
Yes.
Was it important to you that whoever you were dating have a job or going to school or something?
These
Yes.
these
Tell
are
me why
leading.
that would be important.
See, that's interesting. Why didn't she object there? Those were leading questions. Did you discuss some money? I mean, where did that come from? That's not based off of anything.
Just think being self-sufficient. It's either in school or working.
As far as you knew, in 2020 and this year, even 2021, let's say the spring of last year.
Have you ever heard the song Gold Digger? What about No Scrubs? Do you in fact have a playlist of Gold Digger and No Scrubs on repeat all the time?
Was Chandler going to school?
Yes.
Did he talk about that with you?
Yes.
What did you know about where Chandler was going to school and what he was doing?
He was taking classes online through MITC for UW, and it was for an IT degree.
Would Chandler talk a lot about school with you?
Often.
What kind of things would you talk about?
When we'd have tests or homework that we were doing.
Going in this year, did he ever show you any sort of like work he was doing for school, any projects, things like that?
He showed me some coding he was doing once.
For a class? You said he was going online. Did Chandler ever physically go there as far as you knew? For a class?
I don't remember.
This spring, going into the summer, prior to everything happening, did you believe Chandler was going to MATC?
Yes.
Did you ever see his grades? Did he ever share his grades with you or transcripts or anything like that?
No, he didn't show me.
Do people normally
Do you know how
that?
close he was to graduating?
One class away, I believed.
Like, hey, girl,
Did you and
see
Chandler
this
ever
transcript?
talk about him working with
weird.
the police at all, with scuba diving or anything like that?
With the DNR.
Sure. Tell me about that.
He told me he would scuba dive for the DNR and then sometimes help out the police through the DNR.
Did he say what he would do for them, like specifically?
Scuba diving, look in the lakes for stuff.
Was this like a job or a volunteer thing? What was your understanding from Chandler?
I believe it was a job.
And did he have this throughout the time you were dating?
During the summer.
Were there ever times where Chandler would go to that job as far as you knew, or need to schedule time to be there?
Yes.
How would that come up?
He would just tell me he had to be on call days and we couldn't hang out those days, or he would only have select time to hang out or else he'd be on call.
So there'd be times you couldn't hang out because he would say he was on call?
Mm-hmm.
How often would that come up in your relationship?
These pauses, though. These pauses.
But it came up?
It did.
Okay. Did you ever see Chandler with any sort of scuba diving equipment, oxygen tanks, those flippers that people put on, anything like that?
No.
Did you believe he worked at this dive team job back at that time?
Yes.
At some points in the past year and a half or so, did Chandler get a job with American Family Insurance?
Yes.
American Family Insurance.
What did Chandler tell you about that, or what did you know about what he was doing?
That it was an internship to help graduate through school, and he'd be doing stuff with solar panels and laying out plans for companies, going through American Family and such.
So it was an internship. Was it eventually a job or something else, like where you got paid?
A paid internship, I believe.
Did he ever show you any of his work that he was working on?
He showed me a plan on a whiteboard that he was drawing up.
When you say a whiteboard, what do you mean by that?
A board
Like
that was
a
white.
whiteboard that you hang up in your home or see in school.
Okay.
Did it look
What
like
was on that whiteboard? that
Charlie
you
from
showed me?
Always Sunny?
If you remember.
A building and where they wanted to place the solar panels and how it was by a highway, so it would be a safety hazard for the direction they want to point it in because of the angle of the sun could be blinding the drivers.
Did you seem excited about this project when he was talking to you about it?
Yes.
Did Chandler have any issues with pay at American Family Insurance and getting his
Nina Infinity,
paychecks?
he better not.
Yes.
Tell me what you know about that from Chandler.
That there was something going on with who American Family would go through for payment, that the check went to the wrong address and then it had to be canceled, and then he tried setting up for direct deposit and something happened with that, and then the amount that they had to pay him was too much, so they didn't believe they owed some of that amount of money, and then it just wasn't getting to him.
Because of this issue or maybe others, were there times in your relationship where it didn't seem like Chandler had a lot of money?
Yes.
When you all went out to get food or something along those lines, would it be more common for you to pay or for him to pay, or how would that work?
For me to pay.
Chandler had it down.
Sure. 1 second. I'll tell you before. Yeah. You might not have some specific dates, and that's totally okay, but do you know approximately kind of the time period Chandler was working at American Family Insurance?
Believe January until the spring.
Okay. Kind of the same questions before with MATC when I asked you about transcripts. Regarding American Family Insurance, did you ever see any documents, pay stubs, contracts, HR stuff, anything with like the logo of American Family kind of around Chandler or in his bedroom or anything like that?
I did not.
And in that time period, you were dating 2020 and 2021. While he said he had this job, did you believe he was working at American Family Insurance?
Yes, I did.
At some point going into 2021, so just last year before the summer, did it appear that Chandler had gotten a new job or was in the process of getting a new job?
Yes.
And where was that job at?
The company or the
Yeah,
location?
what was the company?
SpaceX.
Okay. So what's going to happen now is the attorneys and I are going to talk to the judge for 1 second. So some weird white noise is going to come on. Be a good second to take a drink of water if you want, but it's going to be about 1 minute. Okay.
Objection, leading the witness to water. Objection, you can lead a witness to water, but you can't make her drink it. Oh, he put on glasses now.
Thank you. How did you first learn that Chandler was going to work at SpaceX?
He mentioned it
Did you ever
we
criticize
were-
Chandler's calves as bitch made?
on a call.
Did he have an interview?
Yes.
Okay. I want to show you what's been marked as this case, in this case, as exhibits 506. But I want you to look at that for a second. And just quickly, you'll notice we've redacted some things. You've seen this type of exhibit before, correct?
Correct.
And we've redacted your phone number out of this, have we not?
Yes.
Okay. Chandler's saved in your phone as kind of a name. What is that name?
Hubby.
And that's just something you would call him.
Yes.
Okay. But are these messages with Chandler and you, looks like back in May of this year?
Yes.
Okay. And what is the first one that Chandler says?
I have a good feeling about SpaceX.
So what they're doing here is they're qualifying the evidence, right? Like, so you don't get to just introduce evidence. You have to have a witness who can introduce the evidence. So he's asking her foundational questions about the evidence. Do you recognize this? You know, you see this. Does this look familiar to you? Can you tell us what this is? Can you verify to the court that this is, you know, accurate and such? So, you know, that was well done. Good job.
I'll move 506 into evidence.
Any objection?
Subject to what was said on the record, though.
It is
Say,
received.
come on that screen, okay? So we're going to talk about some of them. Just real quick, because it's the first one that we're going to do that looks like this. Your phone was taken by the police and downloaded in the course of this investigation, correct?
Correct.
So we're going to try to get the lighting just right, and that might be the trick right there. So in the blue here, that's Chandler, correct?
Correct.
I have a good feeling about SpaceX, and if we're looking at it,
I got a
date
feeling
on these messages
that this
is
job's gonna
down
be
there. It's
a
also
good
right there,
job.
but this one I'll read out loud just because it's a bit hard
That
to
this
see.
job's gonna be
We're at the
a
23rd
real
of
good
May.
job.
Of 2020. You say, I'm proud of you.
B. Why'd you leave out the B?
What does Chandler say there?
Thanks. I hope I get a job.
And you say, me too.
B. Say the
In
B.
general, were you hoping Chandler
Why is he
got this
afraid of the
job?
B?
Yes.
Why?
He seemed excited about it. A lot of pay.
A lot of pay. Did Chandler ever tell you how much money he'd
B
be
for
making at SpaceX?
beta.
Around 800,000.
800,000?
Sorry, I apologize. 80,000.
80,000?
That's about- if she was serious about the 800,000, she bought it. I was about to lose my mind. Okay, 80,000 makes more sense.
So after you say me too, we're still on the 23rd, he says, I'll be happy. And you respond, I'll be very happy for you too.
N. What was the N?
You get the money you want, the job you want, right? You were happy for him.
Correct.
He leaves off these single letters. Make her explain
We
it to
talked a little
court.
bit, and we're going to flip through some of these that maybe aren't super relevant. As we talked about, you texted
Wait,
a
did
lot.
she just label him her N?
But you're talking about the location and the money, and Chandler says, can you read that one for us?
Get Richards in here to explain what
But
an
I'll
N
be
is.
happy with money.
And you say maybe they'll transfer you in a couple years. Was there any discussion about that around that time?
Yes.
And
Your
what was that
Honor, the
discussion
N-word
about?
in
Maybe
question is
transferring
Nick.
or where this job was.
The job was in Florida.
Okay. And that would take you to Florida as well?
Correct.
Okay. Was it your intention to move with Chandler?
Yes.
And on May 24th, he sends you this message. What does it say?
I have a follow-up interview for Florida tomorrow.
And as that kind of approached, on the 25th now of May, you're saying, tell me, kind of in an exaggerated fashion, but just tell me what's going on.
Yes.
And what does Chandler say?
Shoot, sorry, I got the job.
And you say, congratulations. You have a discussion about the job in general and eventually Chandler. The same day, the 25th, what does he say to you?
I have training next week over the computer and I leave June 11th and start on June 14th.
Fulu, I don't know if she's involved in the killings.
You and Chandler discuss, perhaps, I think you said that you were going to move with him eventually, right?
Correct.
Was it going to be right away or were you going to wait a couple weeks?
wait a couple weeks.
And what does Chandler text you on the 25th?
I'll come back every other weekend, hon.
And what else?
And I can send you money till your lease is up and you move in with me.
This is a solid plan because he definitely wouldn't be able to do any of that. So that'll be funny.
The text messages that day end with Chandler sending you a couple messages. Can you read the first one?
If you're positive you want to be with me for the long run.
Was that in relation to you moving with him?
Yes.
And he says, what last?
Because if you're not, then I don't think you should.
Laying it on the table there, putting it down. That if you like it, then you should put a ring on it. And by ring, I mean a cock ring for my penis. That's what he was saying. That's not me. That was Chandler.
Did the topic of you
I speak
and Chandler
text.
moving to Florida, is that like it's something you talked about a lot?
Yes.
Were you excited about that?
Yes.
Did you tell your family?
Sunder where?
Yes.
Yes, she's single
Tell your
now.
friends?
Yes.
I'll
Bob
show you
Pip-
what's been marked in this case. Exhibit number 507.
Bob
Tell me what that
Piffle
is.
says the N word is Nick.
A screenshot of the SpaceX location in Florida.
And was this taken off your phone?
Yes.
Why'd you take that screenshot?
I was curious about the location of the company.
Okay. What's exhibit number 508?
A screenshot from Zillow of homes in Titusville, Florida.
Okay. And it's a screenshot, but there's something else in that screenshot in the top right corner. What is that?
Chandler?
How does this happen? This is on your phone, you're taking a screenshot?
Yes.
Are you FaceTiming at this time?
Yes.
And are you looking up, what are you looking up there
Homes for sale.
in Titusville, Florida?
Yes.
I'll show you, it's been marked as exhibit 509. What's that?
A pool.
And was this another one of the homes you were looking up?
Yes.
When you took these screenshots, when you were FaceTiming with your boyfriend at the time, did you believe that you were possibly going to be moving to Florida and maybe buying a home or renting an apartment, things of that sort?
Yes.
Fair to say these
Well, he'd be buying the home, but
homes you were looking up weren't cheap either.
No.
Did you think you'd be having some money available to you?
Yes.
All right, I'll move 507, 508.
I mean, 80 grand a year isn't all that much. Like, how much of a home is she thinking of buying? Don't get me wrong, 80 grand a year is a good job, but
509 in evidence.
Any objection?
No.
They are received. They may be published.
Just briefly, this is exhibit number 507. I just showed you. This is what we were talking about when we said that you took a screenshot of just where SpaceX was.
Yes.
Okay. Did you know prior to Chandler talking about it that they had a location in Florida?
No.
Okay. Exhibit number 500.
You see the price on that house? She's looking at a $700,000 house. Well, you'll be making 80 grand a year, B. It'll be fine, Bo. We can do it, B. It's okay. We'll get a 70-year fixed loan. It'll be fine. Holy shit.
8. We're looking at a $699,000 home in Florida. And you're kind of on the phone with Chandler. And is this what a FaceTime looks like when you're kind of browsing other apps while you're on FaceTime?
Yes.
And so is that Chandler in the top right?
Yes.
Were you talking to him about this at the time?
Yes.
Okay. I'm showing you exhibit 509. Here we're looking at a pool of another home. Is that Chandler in the top right?
Yes.
Chandler's like, I'm going to have to lie really hard to afford any of these houses. Oh, shit.
And same thing, you were talking to him about moving to Florida.
Yes.
What kind of conversations did you personally have? Not what other people said, but what were you telling your family, your mom, your brother about the plan?
Chandler would move down to Florida and start working. I would go at the end of August after my lease ended. And I celebrated my birthday
shit.
in Madison.
Hold on.
And Titusville isn't too far from
Sorry about that.
where Disneyland is. And I was looking at pharmacy schools in Florida as well.
Oh, so you're gonna get
Did you talk to
you're
your friends
take on
about this
some
plan?
student
Yes.
prices too.
Was there any discussion of transportation or cars or things like that once you got down to Florida?
Yes.
Tell me about that.
Chandler had a car lined up for when he got down there already, and I was going to drive my car down.
Did you ever invite your friends that were close to you and say like, hey, you can come down and visit when we're down there?
Yes.
What kind of things did you talk to them about doing?
Going to Disneyland, Universal Studios, going fishing.
I think we saw in one of those prior texts that the SpaceX job was supposed to begin mid-June. Was that your understanding of the timing?
Yes.
Around the time it was supposed to start, did something
you or him
happen that
have-
caused a delay?
Any credit at all?
Yes.
What happened?
Mitch went to the hospital.
Chandler's brother?
Mhm.
And he's testified and told everyone kind of about it. But in general, what was your understanding of what was going on?
His sugar levels were very high, and he had to be there for a couple days.
What did Chandler, did he tell you anything about whether that was going to delay SpaceX, or what the relationship between those two things are, Mitchell's illness and SpaceX?
He didn't want to leave while Mitch was ill.
Mitch was in the hospital for a couple days.
Yes.
At that point, did Chandler tell you, or did you know of any time he was supposed to now start SpaceX?
I don't remember.
Was it delayed?
Yes.
Yeah, Don Baca already said I don't like the mask on the
Mitchell's
testifying.
hospitalization, did anything else happen that caused the delay in SpaceX?
I ended up going to the urgent care as well, and then Chandler fell.
Chandler was in the hospital.
Yes.
Oh, see, here's the plan. We just figured it out. Her wearing the mask is the path to the mistrial. Then after the mistrial, where the case is dismissed, she hooks back up with him. He gets the job at SpaceX and uses his parents' insurance money to buy the $800,000 house with a pool, and they live happily ever after. This is brilliant.
What did you know about Chandler falling?
He was running and slipped down the stairs, and then fell pretty hard and hit his head.
Did Chandler talk to you about his injury?
Yes.
What kind of symptoms was he reporting that he was feeling after that fall?
Tingles in his legs, sensitivity to light, severe headaches, weakness.
Was Chandler able to
Weakness, particularly in the calves. They're just embarrassing. Oh my God.
physically do normal things around that time?
No,
What do you mean by that?
he had a hard time lifting things, and
Yeah, we saw his legs.
quite often would get lightheaded.
Could he carry heavy things from what you observed or knew?
No,
Could he drive long distances, things of that sort?
no,
Was he able to travel?
no.
Why do you know that, or why do you say that?
Because of the head injury and wearing the neck brace.
I'll show you a couple exhibits marked.
Jason McConnell says, I haven't seen such misguided female expectations since my dad brought me that Minneapolis Olive Garden waitress to lose my virginity to.
5'11", tell me what 5'11" is.
Chandler in the emergency room.
Okay, and he's kind of got his hat over his head there.
Yes.
Who sent you? Did you see this photo eventually?
Yes.
How'd you get that photo?
It was sent to me.
Do you know who sent it to you?
I believe it was Chandler or his mother.
What's 512?
This
Chandler
is a picture
was
of
Mr. Halverson
you.
and Mitch during the Father's Day brunch.
He's wearing the collar there.
Yes.
513.
It's a
another
picture of
photo
you in
Chandler
a
the collar.
diaper
Yes.
Move 5,
wearing lipstick.
11, 12, and 13 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
They are received. They may be published.
Thank you, Judge.
There's a
Just so we're all looking at
prosecution.
the same thing. You said
Claire.
this is a photograph that was sent to you, Chandler, in the hospital, 511. Correct?
Correct.
Sorry, we got to do it twice. Kind of that's how it works. 512 photograph of that's Chandler on the left side, correct?
Correct.
And
Note
in
the
middle,
scrawny
is that
legs.
Mr. Halverson?
Correct.
And on the right, is that Mitchell?
Correct.
And that's, where is that photo taken? Do you know?
In the living room by the kitchen.
In 513, another photograph of Chandler wearing that neck brace.
Look at this photograph.
What were you aware of in terms of like what the prognosis was for his injuries? Like what was going to happen to him or what was going on?
He had a concussion, light sensitivity, and tingling in his legs.
Was it going to get better?
I guess at this point, I'm going to object.
I'll withdraw the question, the defense object. Did Chandler tell you if he was going to get better or the symptoms were improving around that time?
No.
Was there any discussion about how the concussion and the injury was going to affect SpaceX?
He wouldn't be able to travel down there.
Tell me about anything you remember about that type of discussion.
Can you be more specific, please?
Yeah. What did Chandler specifically tell you about why he couldn't travel?
Because he was wearing the neck brace and he had a concussion, so he shouldn't be flying.
Is that a thing with
Any
concussions?
questions
Oh, you shouldn't get on a
about,
plane if you had a
family and
concussion.
NITC? Did you ever see anything around Chandler's room, on his phone, any documents, records with the SpaceX or Tesla
Documents.
logo or anything like that?
No.
Talked a little bit about houses and things of that sort. Were you aware at any point if Chandler had rented an apartment?
Yes.
And tell me about that.
It was a 2-bedroom apartment,
I'll fly with a concussion all day.
and
Bite
he
me.
put a down payment for it. And there's a little dog park, so I could bring my dog Chewbacca down.
Okay, that explains some things. He put a down payment down, did he? Did he? He just put a down payment on a house? With what money? What money? You bought this? You believe this? This motherfucker, you've been buying his dinners. Bro's been having payment issues. You've testified that he's been having payment issues with his job. He got no money ever. You just put a down payment. Look, babe. Hey, babe. I just put a down payment on a house, little 2-bedroom thing near a dog park. You can bring Chewbacca down. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. How did you know about this apartment?
Chandler sent me a link.
Did he tell you whether he was just looking at it or if he had actually rented it?
That he rented it.
Did you yourself see a lease of any sort?
No.
Did you ever sign a lease?
No.
Is your only connection with this apartment is looking at the listing that was sent to you?
Correct.
We're going to start talking about events starting on June 30th and kind of all the way through July 8th at this point.
Can you tell me
And I think
why
I'm gonna let
people
some of the
actually like
messages
Boba
guide
Fett?
Our conversation, so I'm going to be walking back and forth quite a bit. But to show you what's been marked in this case is exhibit number 514. Just briefly, could you just page through that and tell us kind of what dates these text messages are from?
Isn't it true that your dog is in fact named Chewbacca? Like from Star Wars? Have you ever seen The Last Jedi?
They're all on June 30th.
June 30th of 2021, right?
Correct.
All right. And these are the messages between you and Chandler?
Correct.
I'll move 514 into evidence.
Any objection?
I'll bring up the same objection from the sidebar, but otherwise, no.
All right. And based upon the same ruling, they are received and they may be shown.
I'm going to start showing them, and I'm going to ask for some context because we're picking up, obviously, in the middle of thousands of pages of messages, maybe. But the first message is a message from you. To be honest, it's getting to the point where I want to text your mom directly. What was this about on June 30th, 3:18 in the afternoon?
About him being grounded and not being able to see me or hang out.
What was your understanding at that time of what was going on from Chandler? What did he tell you? He was grounded?
Yes.
Were you wanting to see him?
Yes.
And what did he tell you about whether he could see you or not?
He couldn't.
The man is
Because of what?
23 years old. He's 23 years old. I'm grounded by my mom. I can't see my girlfriend. Bro, just leave. Get up, just fucking walk out the door. She believed this shit. Why can you? Ladies out there, can you imagine dating a man, a grown ass man? It's like, I can't see you, girl. My mom grounded me. I'm stuck in my room. Just dump him. Why would you even stay with a guy who could be grounded at 23?
Because I wasn't allowed over.
You communicated with Krista a lot, right?
Yes.
When you say that, was Chandler telling you that, or did you actually hear that from Krista or Bart?
From Chandler.
Okay. And you say, it's getting to the point where I want to text your mom directly. And Chandler says, can you read that for me?
It's fine, B. That'll only piss them off more.
And what does he say?
This weekend will be great.
That weekend was the 4th of July weekend coming up, right?
Correct.
Did you have any plans to
You say, now we're still June 30th,
Barbecue
about 3:19 in
on
the
the
afternoon. You say, okay. And he says what?
Thanks, though.
And then on June 30th, you send this message next.
all the others are on
What does
June
that say?
30th also?
We're not going to the cabin, right?
So in the realm of messages where the cabin, the first time the jury's seen that, how did this come up, or what was going on where you sent this message?
I was under the impression that Mr. and Mrs. Holderson were going up to the cabin for the 4th of July weekend.
Was that conversations or like over the phone or in person you'd had with Chandler, or was that?
Over the phone.
Okay. And you ask, we're not going to the cabin, are we? What does Chandler say?
No.
You say, I can ask if we can go to the farm.
Razor 390 says Chandler's mom grounds Chandler figuratively. Chandler grounds his mom literally. Oh, damn.
Right?
Correct.
And that ended up coming to fruition. You did that.
Ms. C, you say he actually was grounded? These texts were before his parents were killed? I mean, I know they're before his parents are killed. I'm just saying, if my parents tried to ground me at 23, I'd go, that's cute, and just leave. And I liked my parents. They wouldn't presume to ground like a grown person. That's weird. The hell is that? Grounded?
Yes.
You read that last message you sent?
That way we can say my mom can care for you since they have a lot of stuff here that they use for Mike and Papa.
Your mom and Chris testified. Who are Mike and Papa in general, and what did that mean that there was stuff there for them?
Mike is Cress's brother, and Papa is her father. Papa is elderly. He is over 90 years of age. And Mike is wheelchair bound and needs help going to the restroom. And overall, my mom helps take care of them.
What kind of stuff were you talking about that there was stuff there?
Walkers.
Texas Ranger?
If he needed one of those stools that you put over the toilet so an elderly person can sit down or they don't have to squat so low since it's hard for their knees.
Okay. Was it your impression that Chandler would be assisted by some of those things?
Yes. Yes, you just told you texted that we could do this so that's a yes. Obviously, that's why you would text him that those things are there. Unless she's lying because she knew he didn't have a concussion. And I'm just saying that maybe she knew he didn't have a concussion because notice what her text message said. Now, this does not automatically mean that she killed and ate the parents necessarily. But listen, her text message says, we can tell them my mom can care for you and we have stuff for Mike and Papa, right? We can tell them that. We can deceive them. We can lie to them. We can convince them that this is a reason to go somewhere, even though you're grounded. I'm telling you, it doesn't automatically means that she, did the killings. But this girl she was not so dumb as to know that her boyfriend, he had a concussion. He didn't, I don't buy it for a fucking second. Talking about jerking each other off in the showers over Snapchat or whatever, and she doesn't know. Yeah, he's going to concussion. This would be my problem.
Why did you say that there was stuff there for them?
So we'd be able to hang out since
she was lying. See, she knew it. She was lying. They have to get ahead of this.
his mom was very concerned about his injury.
The next day, Thursday, July 1st, you worked that day?
Can you repeat the date?
Sure, Thursday, July 1st. So before the 4th of July weekend.
Correct.
You have a normal job, normal type of hours, right?
Correct.
Weekdays.
Correct.
Okay. Hopefully just weekdays, right? Showing you what's been marked is exhibit number 516. And I know it might be in a different form than usual, but in general, do you have an idea of what that is?
Yes.
What is that?
Snapchat messages.
And who are they with?
Chandler.
And Chandler's, to the best you can, I know these are people make up names, but what was Chandler's Snapchat name?
Chazzle Dazzle.
Chazzle Dazzle. And significant parts of this are redacted out. In the course of sending Snapchat, sometimes you send just, in general, people are sending pictures back and forth, and part of what we've done in this case is just redact any photographs that we really thought we could, right?
Correct.
Okay. Kept one on though, just to prove that's you, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Whoa.
Is 516.
Look, this lawyer's doing fine, but he has beta suit energy here. What the hell body shape is he working with? What is this? Is this like the omelet torso? I mean, is he sagging his suit pants? Like, what is going on with this suit pant line? This is not right. The back of these pants have to be halfway down his flat ass. What is going on? Like, I am not pinnacle masculine physique by any means, but at least my suit pants go up over my ass and they this is weird.
No, just to prove that's you, right?
Yes.
Okay. Is 516 Snapchat messages between July 1st and July 7th between you and Chandler?
Correct.
Right. I'll move 516 into evidence.
Any objection?
Same objection as the text messages.
Same ruling that it is received may be published.
I need you to tell us about Snapchat. I don't know what everyone's understanding is. Everyone's of different ages. Some people have a Snapchat.
Snapchats is so your girlfriend can send you tit pictures that you can't screenshot without her knowing it. So she thinks.
Some people don't. Just in general, what is Snapchat?
Snapchat is a social media app where you can send photos with titles, or you can send messages through the chat part of the app.
And what is one of the features of Snapchat that it's primarily known for that text messages maybe aren't?
There are boobs in the pictures.
They aren't generally saved.
They delete, right?
Correct.
Okay. Is there a way to manually save messages or photos on Snapchat?
Yes.
And is it easy or is it hard?
Hard for you.
I find it easy.
What do you do?
You hold down the text and you select save.
And if you save the message, if you're communicating right now with Snapchat with one of your friends and they send you a snap, if you click on it and look and do nothing, that message will delete, right?
Sometimes.
Okay. But if you could manually save it, right? By putting your finger down and saving it.
Correct. Or if you change the settings to delete within 24 hours.
Sometimes when you snapped with Chandler, one or both of you would save the messages.
Correct.
And
imagine if she had sent a bunch of boob pictures, right? And when they subpoenaed Snapchat for the records, she knows like this attorney's seen her chesticles a whole bunch. That'd make this really awkward, I would think. Like, I think that would be something that would get kind of awkward as a witness in the modern day that they probably didn't have to deal with as much prior to this. Black Hall Manor says, Nick, let's be fair. If she believes she can't safely take the face diaper off to testify, she probably would believe 23-year-old men get grounded by their parents. I'm just saying, I don't trust this chick. She doesn't have credibility for me. I mean, she lied in the text messages. She was willing to lie in the text messages. That's, if I'm the defense, man, I'm telling you, I said this at opening arguments. And again, I got some shit in my comment section about it because people are like, oh, you can't do that. That's unethical. I would be painting this chick as the driving factor behind the murders, if not the murderer herself. You can't directly do it, right? You can't be like, this bitch murdered these people and ate them. You can't say that, but you can start asking questions. Why would he go to her parents' farm? A place that he'd never been except for the one day before to dump bodies? It doesn't make any sense. How would he know how to navigate that farm? Why would he think that this was the best place? Why would he? You know who would do that? There might be someone else who would be more able to do that. DJ Laser says, it's amazing the difference in mask use when it comes to Kenosha County versus Dane County. Most of the state doesn't care about masks. Even in Milwaukee County, only the downtown area really cares. All right, here we go.
And those messages are what we're looking at here, right?
Correct.
Okay. Would you say Snapchat is your primary form of communication with Chandler?
One of them.
Okay. So I'm going to display 516 and we'll start going through some things here in a second. But we talked about, we left one photograph on just to prove that's you, right?
Correct.
Okay. We'll redact the rest. And when, for obvious reasons, we don't want everything coming out. But
what's in those redacted pictures? What's in those redacted pictures? We'll redact the rest. Look, we redacted all of them. It's okay. They're redacted. We're going to redact all those pictures. Don't worry about it. We don't want those coming out. What don't you want coming out? You don't want some sweater puppies flopping out in the courtroom there? What'd you redact? What did you redact? She said, or they said in the opening, they would Snapchat each other in the shower, right? Yeah. This chick knew that this guy didn't have a concussion. I don't trust her at all. I'm not saying she killed anybody. I'm just saying I don't trust her.
July 1st of 2021 at 7-Eleven You get a message, right? From Chandler?
Correct.
What does it say?
How do you sleep?
And you say, I slept good. How did you sleep? And how did she respond?
I hardly slept.
He gives you kind of a emoji face. You say, I'm sorry, B. Why? Can you read Chandler's message back to you after you say why?
I don't know. Stuff hasn't really been going well for me lately, so I'm trying to plan for the next thing to fuck me over.
That's right. It's a man who knows his place in the world.
After that, Chandler sends another message, and we'll try to get it in the right spot. And can you read that?
Yeah, I just had a great future planned and it's falling apart.
And you say, no, it's not. You're going to be okay. You're reassuring him, right?
Correct.
You respond, you're going to go to Florida. You even said it's probably just the brace, probably just the brace, right?
Correct.
He says, thanks. You say, of course, I love you, and I'm here to keep your booty in check.
Correct.
Now we're up to 7:55 in the morning. Right after you say that, what does Chandler say back to
With
you?
those twig ass calves, no way he has a booty
There's
at
a
all.
bit of a glare.
Sure.
Thank you. Will you leave me even if it doesn't work? Worded bad, but you understand.
You respond, no, I wouldn't. And he says,
I won't stop trying.
you say, like, Florida would be so dope and like nice, but I'm not dating you for money. I love you tons.
Correct.
What does he say?
I love you a ton too. By the way, I'm not giving up. I'm just worried.
You say, don't worry, love. Don't be worried, love. It'll work out.
Correct.
And he says, thank you, B. You say, of course. Now we're up to 8:30. He says, you helped me a ton.
Like with the heavy lifting of my
Right?
parents' body parts.
Correct.
Okay. Other than these messages, these Snapchat messages that morning, were you and Chandler communicating by phone or anything else around 7:30 into 8:30 in the morning on July 1st of 2021 that you remember?
I don't remember.
Now that's a weekday, and I think you said you were working that day.
Correct.
About what time do you go to work?
$8:30 since I was working close.
And if you had to work at 8:30, is that what time you would leave or what time you'd get there?
I have to be clocked in by 8:30.
What time would you have to leave where you're staying then to get to work by 8:30?
Around 8 o'clock, 8:10.
When you're at work, I think we all maybe send an occasional message or two, but are you frequently on your phone a lot at work or only when you just have a second?
When I have a minute,
Okay. You have a busy job.
I do.
Okay. At some point that day, you and Chandler switch back to texting as well, right?
Correct.
Okay. I'm showing you it's been marked in this case as exhibit number 515. Just look at a message. Can you tell me what date these messages are?
July 1st, 2021.
All right. And this appear to be a couple pages of text messages between you two?
Correct.
All right. I'll move 515 into evidence.
Any objection other than the standing objection?
No.
They are received. And they may be published.
How can you not
Let me try
work your
one more
overhead
light on
projector at
objection.
all?
See if we can't get this.
Don't think that.
That's worse than.
Fantastic.
There we go. All right. Can you see that cat or no?
Correct, I can.
Oh, now he's calling her cat.
Um,
Okay.
I'm going to try on my end to fix things up a little bit. Starts with just you talking, and eventually there's a message from Chandler on the 1st at 1:02 p.m. And I'll move it down so it's out of the light. But can you tell me what that message says?
It's not from Chandler, it's from
Sorry,
her.
forgot to tell you, but Mom did okay you hanging out with us all weekend.
Sorry, and I think I said Chandler. I meant you. Right.
He was
Did you send that
listening
message
clearly
or Chandler?
live, even
I
though this
did.
was recorded earlier.
Your mom okayed you guys hanging out.
Correct.
Was that at the farm and things like that?
Correct.
Chandler responds, awesome. And what do you say back to him?
Yeah, so convince your parents hard.
And that was at 1:03 on the 1st. What did you mean by that? Convince your parents hard?
I meant to convince his parents to let us hang out.
Why would he need to convince his parents based on what you knew at the time? What was going on?
He wasn't able to hang out around that time.
And then at 1:03, just after that,
Because as a grown man that I was in love with, he was grounded.
Chandler sends you a message. What does that say?
I overheard that they might go to the cabin with their friends, but IDK.
So that was kind of following up on the possibility of the cabin from yesterday on the 30th. There it's kind of more conclusive.
Correct.
Okay. What time did you get off work? What time do you get off work generally, or if you know what time did you get off that day?
5 o'clock.
When you get home that day, do you remember what you did?
I don't remember.
Do you and Chandler FaceTime a lot?
Yes.
Kind of a weird question, but I have to ask. Did you sometimes FaceTime when you guys were showering?
Yes.
Okay. Sometimes you take screenshots of Chandler.
Yes.
You took a lot of screenshots on your phone, didn't you?
Yes.
Okay. I'm showing you it's been marked in this case as 517. Is that one of those screenshots?
Yes.
Did you take that
Are
night,
his weak,
sometime
girly
after you got
legs
home
in
from
that
work,
screenshot?
while FaceTiming with Chandler?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move 517 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
It's not a new photograph too, I'll note for the court.
Are you sorry?
It's above the waist.
Oh, understood. It is received and maybe.
Oh,
Just
they answered my
briefly,
question. His little
that's
bitch legs
Kind
weren't
of
in
a
there.
FaceTime setup, but that's Chandler. And the background, does that appear to be the shower at the Halderson?
She's screenshotting him in the shower.
home?
Yes.
Okay. They have a big shower in that house.
Yes.
And it's Chandler looking into his phone and you snap the screenshot.
Pardon?
You snap that screenshot?
Yes.
Okay. Did you have any plans to hang out with Chandler that night as far as you remember?
Not that night.
Okay. But you were communicating a lot?
Correct.
Later that night, at some point,
Did you ever screenshot pictures of Chandler's penis? No? Why? Not impressed? What about mine? Says the lawyer.
Judge, if you could turn the lights on just briefly for the co-witness. Here's some additional messages. Around 8:30 at night, Chandler sends you a couple of messages. Could you there's one with an emoji, but could you read out the two that have text?
Baby, I need you.
Baby, I need you.
Yes.
Did you know what that was in reference
Baby, I
to?
love the way.
I don't recall.
And later there's discussion of him looking at your Snapchat location and wondering where you were.
Correct.
Okay. And I think I said 8, but it's in military time, so that would be 6:30-ish or so. Okay.
Which exhibit were those in, counsel?
Sure. I was referencing exhibit 516.
Thank you.
So around 6:30 or so, when Chandler sends you the message, baby, I need you, do you recall talking to him after that? verbally on the phone?
I don't recall.
Now, we talked, I think I mentioned something about Snapchat locations. Does another feature of Snapchat have anything to do with your location?
Can you repeat that?
Yeah, is there a location feature on Snapchat with your friends that you can look at their location?
Correct, yes.
Can you tell us about that?
You can select certain friends to view your location, or anyone who is on your friends list can view it.
In your and Chandler's relationship, was that something you did with each other?
Correct.
And was it reciprocal? Both of you did that?
Yes
Correct.
or no? Not correct.
When this was going on during your relationship, was it your intention that anytime you'd open Snapchat, you'd in theory be able to see exactly where he was?
Correct.
And him
Literally never ever do this, y'all. Never turn that shit on.
the same for you?
Correct.
Were you aware at all of what Chandler's plans were the night of the first, when you were either FaceTiming while he was in the shower or any conversation? He talk at all about what he was doing that night?
That he would be taking care of the dogs and
Probably depends on what he saw on Snapchat.
he's gonna make dinner.
Did he mention?
gonna
or
make
do you
dinner.
recall
Oh,
if
no.
He said anything about where his parents were on that day?
In the
He
oven.
said they were doing a grocery pickup.
Okay.
May I have a break?
You may.
This is a good time to take a break. I think we can, we're approaching, I try to do them every 90 minutes, and we're pretty close to that. And sometimes the after lunch break.
Someone
can
sent
come a
me
little bit
apparently the
earlier and
rest of the
be
direct.
wise.
Just
So let's take 10 minutes, both for the jury and for the witness and the parties. Randy? All right, for the jury.
gosh, I hate bow ties with a passion. I hate them. I hate them.
You're free to leave the witness stand, leave the courtroom. You just can't talk to anybody about your testimony while we're on the break, and we'll take 10 minutes and reassemble.
I was just hoping Long Crime would, or the camera or whoever would actually go back to her while she was standing up.
Because I don't know how hard, I don't know if it's hard for them to see when what's called the wall.
Okay, someone allegedly sent me the rest of this. Just a second. I say allegedly because you can never trust the chat. The chat is a liar. Holy shit, I got... Full direct to the girlfriend after the break. Here we go.
Minutes, and we're pretty close to that. And sometimes the after lunch break can come a little bit earlier and be wise. So let's take 10 minutes, both for the jury and for the witness and the parties.
I'll fast forward it in just a second.
Randy? All right, for the jury.
Oh, fucking hell. Here we go. Can we do this? Ooh, baby, I love your way.
Continue.
Okay, the squid says Chandler's parents were far too trusting of him and stupid. At 18, my parents were always on my case about my future plans, trying to get me out of the house. My parents wouldn't have fallen for those lies. They would have just been eaten sooner in the Chandler household.
All right. Where I think that we left off, we're still on Thursday, July 1st, going into the evening. We looked at the FaceTime Snapchat you took, and then maybe some snaps that were sent to you, baby, I need you, things of that sort, right? Okay.
Correct.
And I think my last question to you, or in the last couple of questions, was, did you know what Chandler was going to be doing that night?
I don't recall.
But you weren't with him.
He said he was
I was
going to
not
have
with
the
him.
special beef.
Around that time, a couple things were going on, I guess, according to your testimony so far. Chandler was grounded in some respect.
Correct.
Did you have any knowledge from Chandler about how long he was grounded for, or the duration of that?
Holy shit, is this another hour and a
Just
half?
that we weren't allowed to hang out.
Okay. So the weekend and the parents being gone was going to change that.
Yes.
We're not going to finish this.
These physical symptoms that we talked about
Tonight.
with Chandler and the concussion, I think you'd mentioned maybe kind of having some leg issues
sorry.
and couldn't lift things of that sort.
Correct.
Were those all going on that date as far as you knew?
Correct.
I'm going to show you what's been marked in this case is exhibit number 518,
She looks like a 1990s ninja.
519, 520,
Guys, it
Like
doesn't
your
matter if
attention
I
to the top
2X
right
this
of that.
thing.
520.
We're not getting through it tonight. There's another hour. Just of direct, there's another
522.
hour and a half, almost. Hour and 10 minutes.
523
Fuck that.
and 524. In general, are these photos of Chandler?
Yes.
And what action is he performing in these photos?
Carrying large bags of ice.
And to your knowledge, based on all of your conversations and observations of Chandler, on July 1st of 2021,
You guys got to stop calling her Melina. The eating thing's supposed to be a joke. When she goes back to her farm and spits out the bones, Melina wins. Fatality.
was this activity, the carrying of ice, was that inconsistent with what you knew his physical limitations to be?
Correct.
There's 2 bags, right?
Yes.
And at one point, they're both even in one hand, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to sit these exhibits aside for now. We're not going to receive them into evidence just yet. So if those photographs were taken the night of July 1st, that would be surprising to you.
Yes.
Going into the next day, the day before the weekend, I guess. So now we're into July 2nd, which is a Friday. Did you work as normal that day?
Yes.
And kind of as before, maybe messaging with Chandler throughout the day?
Yes.
What were your general plans that Friday? Do you recall?
To stop at Target, stop at my apartment, stop at my mom's home, and then go to Chandler's.
And what were you and Chandler going to do?
Hang out, have a sleepover.
Were you excited about this?
Snapchat with each other while
Yes.
sitting on the couch.
How long had it been at that time that Chandler had been in this being kind of grounded state where you hadn't seen him a lot?
About 2 weeks.
Okay. As you left work that day, did you have to go to Target to pick some stuff up?
Yes.
What were you picking up in general?
Spit
Maybe
it
that's
out.
a better question. Was it groceries?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you it's been marked as exhibit 525. What is that?
Pork chops,
Was Chandler planning to eat your groceries?
oat milk, cheese.
Sure. Is this from the Hilldale Target?
Yes.
Do you do the pickups at Target or do you go in and shop?
I do the pickups.
Okay. So like a lot of people during COVID, you've done the pickup thing where you order ahead?
Correct.
Okay. And I'll move 525 into evidence.
Any objection?
She makes someone else shop for her? Wow.
Not
Very entitled.
crazy exciting for everyone, but it's the Hilldale Targets picked up at 529. Hilldale here in Madison, kind of down University Avenue, right?
Correct.
All right. Got a couple things, some pork chops, some oat milk, some cheese, normal stuff, right?
Correct.
But you didn't stop there. You went to another Target.
What about this floric acid? And the giant rubber tubs, what were those for?
Didn't you?
Yes.
How does that work that you end up at 2 targets in the same day?
That's a good question.
If something isn't available at one Target, I will order it at another and then go pick it up from there.
Okay. So you went to multiple targets.
Correct.
And so there we see Madison East Target at 637, right?
Correct.
You got a watermelon.
Yep.
Awesome. Were you taking these things over to the Hargerson house?
Some of them, yes.
And when you pick things up at Target, you've done this a lot, I would imagine.
Very often.
Do they put any sort of stickers or markings on the bag to indicate this is for you?
Yes.
In general, just describe what goes on those bags.
It is a barcode for them to scan after they receive my order, and it has my first initial and last name.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's marked in this case as exhibit number 526. Maybe some more messages, but take a look at that. Does that appear to be text messages between you and Chandler there that day on the 2nd, July 2nd?
Correct.
Starting in the morning.
Yes.
Okay, I'll move 526 into evidence.
Subject to the standing objection, it is received.
And so, in fact, kind of first thing maybe say to
Who
that day is
targets
you got to
his
go to
parents?
both targets for your groceries.
Yep.
That's 923. And then you're going to take some of them to your mom's.
Yes.
Tell me just real quick, and we're not going to talk about addresses, but general living situation at the time, back in July of last year. Did you live with your mom?
No.
Did you have an apartment?
Yes.
And would you sometimes stay at your apartment?
Yes.
Sometimes at your mom's?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That was all
Chandler
leading.
says okay at 9:23.
Doesn't matter.
And then on July 2nd at 9 in the morning, after you talk about Target, can you read that message from Chandler to you?
Don't rush. I have tons of chores they are having me do.
Your crippled, devastated physically son with a neck brace and a concussion that can't even walk with his little bitch legs. But they leave him alone and assign him a bunch of chores. Like that's, I don't believe this fucking story.
You say okay. And then you talk about what you're having for dinner. Maybe burgers, maybe chili.
Yes.
Okay.
Damn, I could use some chili.
Talk more about what you're going to have for dinner. He says, I don't know. What would you like?
She literally just said hamburgers or chili.
And you say, depends on how long we see each other, talking about in general what you're going to do and what you're going to eat. You read what Chandler sent you on the 2nd of July at just before 10 in the morning at 9:58.
We could do dinner tonight, and you can come over in the morning again and stay till Sunday night.
Why would she leave?
Did that message strike you as odd of coming over, leaving, and coming back?
Yes.
Why? That was leading, by the way.
Why?
Because I was already going to be there, and I thought our plan was for the whole weekend.
So he says that you could come over for dinner, and then the in between what's not written, but your impression was you'd leave and then come back the next day.
Can you say that a little louder, please?
Sure. Was it your impression from this message that Chandler was telling you that you would leave that night and come back the next morning?
Correct.
Objection. He's testifying
So
for the
he
witness.
says that, and then he says, like dinner plus the sex to you, right?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Dinner plus the sex to you, right?
We will be having the sex. Yes, it will be very good. I will show you my hard drive. What? The sex? Like dinner plus the sex? Like we're gonna have the sex, right? Jason McConnell says, "Who among us hasn't shit bones? Be it Taco Tuesday or liminally." Oh.
Okay. And you ask him, why leave and come back if I'm just going to stay?
Because, bitch, I'll be tired after the sex.
And Can you read Chandler's response?
So I can get some chores done.
Did you know what chores he was talking about at this time?
Get out of my house.
I don't recall.
I'll show you another exhibit
Please do. Show us more about the sex.
marked 527 in this case. Just in general, do those appear to be more?
Don't you hope like his attorney, if he takes a stance, like, did you hit it though? Like that, you got to ask, right?
Text messages between the two of you on July 2nd.
Yes.
I'll move 527 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection.
They are received. They may be published.
Considerable discussion about what you're going to eat, yes, toppings. You're going to check some buns. There's talk of all the burger ingredients. You're talking about.
You're talking about food, aren't you? Aren't you? Aren't you? Mind me to check them buns though. Logan F. Logan F says, Mike the cop put out a video today called "Is This the World's Nicest Arrest?" The video concludes that being open and honest with police goes a long way. Curious what a criminal defense attorney has to say to that. Oh yeah, it goes a long way in getting arrested. It's great. Sure. Being open and honest with police can also go a really long way in getting your ass arrested and thrown in jail, maybe even prosecuted. The question of, there's a balance, right? Asserting your rights respectfully, but asserting your rights. Look, if you want to get arrested really easy, you just be nice and tell the officer whatever they want to hear. That's a real easy way to get really, really arrested. Oh yeah, officer, actually, you know what? I killed them. I chopped up the bodies, took a little nibble, because why wouldn't you? And they're in the freezer downstairs now, so I can have some more on the 4th of July. Oh yeah, no, I mean, I did though. I'll tell you why too. There was a list of reasons, but I'll go ahead and do that. Look, I'm just trying to be honest. I want to comply with you. Sure, being nice is an easy way to get arrested really easy. It can go a long way towards it. Absolutely. But if you want to legally protect yourself, the recommendation would be to be polite, respectful, and professional, but also politely, respectfully, and professionally assert your rights. Yeah, I'm not going to answer any questions because I have a Fifth Amendment right. I'm going to remain silent. I would like to speak to an attorney as soon as possible. And after this, I'm going to remain silent until I have an attorney present. Thank you. And then literally say nothing else ever. And that's fine. They'll arrest you, by the way. If they want to arrest you, you're going to get arrested. But they may not be able to convict you.
Food, right?
Correct.
At 12:14, Chandler sends you this message. What does that say?
You set for this? We just need ice.
Do you know what you needed ice for?
The hot sex.
Chandler likes ice in his drinks, or sometimes we put it in a pool for the dogs.
Oh.
Did you buy ice and take it to the house?
These delays, though. Didn't you run through this testimony?
I don't remember at the moment.
Do you remember if that day when you went over, you put ice in a pool for the dogs or anything like that?
No.
And just after that, Chandler sends you another message. Can you read that?
And now hydrogen peroxide because I stepped on glass.
Is that the first you had heard about any sort of injury?
Yes.
I mean, to
Now,
be
after
fair,
this
though,
message was
if
sent-
he just stepped, he says, and now hydrogen peroxide because I stepped on glass, that would be the first time. I mean, that's not that unfeasible.
And did you, are we looking at the whole communication, or was there like a phone call or anything like that? Or is this all you knew?
I don't remember.
You respond, more talk about groceries. I'll bring spicy cheese and pickled jalapenos.
Yes.
Okay.
Those are going to hurt
And-
my fucking foot, you weirdo.
Again, and I apologize.
I
No one
need
likes to see
ice
their
and
messages probably on a
peroxide.
giant screen, but it just, in general, you say, and Jesus, you're kind of just making a joke that you'll bring Jesus with you.
Yep.
Okay. Chandler responds at 12:16, yes, please.
What's Jesus? What's Jesus? Come on. You know that is not like, oh, I'll bring Jesus Christ with me. There's him saying yes, please. I doubt it. I doubt it. That's all I'm saying. I doubt it. I don't believe that bringing Jesus is a reference to their Lord and Savior, even as a joke. I don't think so.
Please. But then quickly follows up. Can you read that last message?
But for real, if your mom has an extra bottle, that would be great. And a Swiffer wet jet.
Extra bottle, and was it your belief that he's referring to hydrogen peroxide?
Correct.
You respond almost immediately. We have both. He says thanks, and it'll be the end of Exhibit 527. Had Chandler ever asked you to bring hydrogen peroxide over before, as far as you remember?
Not that I remember.
Wait, people were saying she's Latina. Is it not Jesus, but it's Jesus? Is she bringing Jesus?
Did you, in fact, bring him hydrogen peroxide?
Yes.
Where'd you get it?
From my mom's house.
Took her a bottle?
Yes.
Jesus is
And,
Matt from Tinder.
What about a Swiffer mop?
From my mom's house.
You took that to Chandler's?
Yes.
I'm sure it's been marked in this case. It's exhibit number 528.
Did he have a
Who's
cut
that?
on his foot though?
My mom's home.
That's your mom's?
Yes.
And is that the Swiffer?
Yes.
Is that the one you took to Chandler's?
Yes.
All right, I'll move 528 to evidence.
Did he cut his foot?
No
And was there
objection.
blood on the floor?
It may be published.
Not anything spectacular, but police eventually came over and asked where the Swiffer was, and that's where it was, and they took a picture, right?
Yep.
The bottle of hydrogen peroxide and the Swiffer go with you as you're kind of making your way from Target to your mom's and then to Chandler's that night, right?
Correct.
When you
Yes,
get over to
and he showed his neighbor, huh?
Chandler's house, do you take the bags of groceries inside, or do they go inside at some point?
Yes.
And the hydrogen peroxide
Yes.
and the Swiffer.
Yes.
When you first go in the house that day, did you notice anything off?
There was a smoky smell.
Did Chandler tell you more about, did he explain why there was a smoky smell?
Because he was playing catch with Rizzo in the house and the glass shattered in the fireplace. And so the smell got into the home.
Rizzo is a dog, right?
Correct, the border collie.
How did Chandler say the glass broke with the dog?
He was throwing the ball in the house.
Did you look into that any further? Did you go over to that fireplace and poke around?
No.
Was there, in fact, a glass panel broken on it?
Yes.
You stayed the night there that night, right?
Correct.
Where did you all sleep?
On the couches pushed together.
And where were those in the house?
In the parents' bed, don't lie.
In the lower living room by the fireplace.
Around this time, Chandler had a bedroom, right?
Yes.
Had a bed.
Yes.
Did he explain to you why you were sleeping in a kind of like a fort living room?
To be with the dogs and watch TV on the bigger screen.
Had you ever done that before in staying at Chandler's house?
No.
At the time, did it strike you as odd?
No.
Does it strike you as odd
That
now?
room you slept in kind of the couch fort pushed together. The jury's seen it, by the way. They've seen a
Notice how he asked that question, but didn't follow up with, does it strike you as odd now? So he basically just testified that it was odd without her saying it was odd. Weird.
photographs in the video. That was in the same room as the fireplace that had the broken panel, right?
Yes.
It was near the bathroom as well, right?
Objection.
Was it
Leading
near the bathroom?
questions.
You may answer that question. The question was rephrased in light of the objection.
Can you repeat it, please?
Was it near the bathroom where you were sleeping?
Yes.
That night, do you recall anything unique or special about sleeping, or was it kind of a normal night other than the fort?
The girls, the dogs, Rizzo and Izzy, were riled up because of the fireworks.
Was there a TV in that room?
Yes.
Were you watching TV as you went to sleep?
Yes.
Do you know whether
Yeah, I'm calling bullshit. Millennials watching TV. What were you watching? YouTube. You're watching YouTube, right? Because you weren't watching fucking TV. What were you watching? Name one show you watched.
Chandler slept at all that night, or do you not know?
I don't know.
While you were with Chandler that night, did he say anything about where his parents were?
Up north at their cabin.
Had you ever been to the cabin before?
No.
What did you know about the cabin?
Mrs. Halderson's father built it.
With his bare
There's a
hands.
skull on the outside. It's by a lake. And they'd go up there often, whether to change the window panes or do work on it.
I guess that's why they call it window pane.
Now, you stayed there that night.
Just gonna
stayed in the
stand
couch fort
here and
thing
eat
in the
my
fireplace room.
mom.
The next day, did you stay there or did you leave?
I left
Early?
very early.
Camera showed you leaving about 6:55. Would that be about right?
Yes.
And that day, you and Chandler continued texting a little bit, right?
Yes.
Okay. And I apologize. I just found one more set of messages I wanted to talk about from the night before. Just before you got to the house and you were doing the target pickups, Exhibit 529, is that a series of messages kind of after you got off work?
Yes.
All right, I'll move 529 into evidence.
Any objection other than the standing objection?
No.
They are received.
My apologies for just going backwards just a second, but before you got to Chandler's the night before with the groceries, 520, you tell him you're going to keep your clothes in your car. And Chandler, again, says something about peroxide. Can you read that message?
Okay. I do kind of need the Swifter and peroxide and stuff.
Okay. So that's the third time that day he had texted you about peroxide to bring it, right?
Yes.
I mean, homeboy's bleeding all over the floor. He needs that shit clean. He needs to get it cleaned up.
So the next day you wake up early and you leave before 7. And I think you said you were in communication with Chandler all day. I'll show you exhibit number 531. Is that a series of messages ending on the last one on the second and then starting again on the third?
Yes.
Okay. I'm showing you it's marked as 530. Just in general, what is that photograph?
Chandler walking to Fleet Farm.
You know that location?
Yes.
Okay.
Krause would say, well, everybody's parents get eaten from time to time.
I'll move 531 and 530 into evidence.
Any objection other than the standing objection?
Can we approach real quick?
Sure.
Oh, fuck you. Oh.
Early. It was a Saturday. Now we're into July 3rd.
My plans for the day?
Yeah, what was your general plans?
go to my mom's, hang out with the dogs, Chewbacca and Muffin, see my brother, and have Chandler come over later.
And that night, what were you going to do?
See the fireworks with my brother.
That day when you left, were you aware of what Chandler's plans were?
To do chores.
He had mentioned chores a couple times. What was your understanding of chores? Did he tell you?
I don't remember.
4 doors, more chores.
I'm going to show you. Actually, I already did. 531's received into evidence at this point.
Yes.
Okay. You're texting Chandler in the morning. First one, 7:32. You say breakfast burrito. What was this in reference to?
What we were going to eat when he came over later.
Okay. Something you're going to make or something like that.
Yes.
Okay.
Damn. That
Can you read his
that
message
chick's a
for us?
bro for getting him some breakfast burritos and
Sounds
helping him
good.
kill his
I'm
parents.
doing shit kind of slowly, to be honest. I'm kind of sore.
7:46.
What's he sore from? Do you want to explain to the jury what he's sore from after the previous night?
You say, I could have helped you this morning.
Yes.
What was that in reference to?
Doing his chores.
Did he ask you to help him?
No.
And why did you send that message that you would have helped him?
Since I thought he was having a hard time with his legs and the injury, I could have helped him get it done easier, and it wouldn't have been as hard for him.
He responds, 7:47. Can you read his response?
Yeah, I know. I'll be right back. I'm going to the dump.
You read your response to that at 7:48.
B, did you load the car by yourself? You can barely walk. I should have at least helped you with that.
Chandler tell you what he was taking to the dump?
No, I picked you up last night.
I don't remember.
At some point he texts you though at 7:49. What does he say?
Never mind. It's closed.
And you reference it's the holiday weekend.
Correct.
She very familiar with the operating hours of the dump. The squid says, I object, Your Honor. Her grocery list clearly shows they were having wieners and tacos for dinner and possibly finish up with a chocolate starfish. Gates of Above says, very important question that haven't been asked. Did the dogs eat some of the parents? And 2, did they add some of the parents to the chili? Kaiju Spirit says she probably ate a bit of them too. Likely walked in on him during the act and instead of freaking out, asked him, what about their legs? They don't need those. Sausage and Dad McMuffin. Oh, no. Look, we have a lot of fun here, but
some
cannibalism
point,
jokes will never get old. The
There's a
more
series
you
of
know.
messages from you, and then this one comes at 8:38. What do you say there?
Hey, did you pass out?
That's a question mark. Why would you send a message like that, or why did you send a message like that?
I was worried because of the head injury. If he's overexerting himself, he might push himself too hard and pass out.
Okay. And
It's
had sent him a
8:30 in
series
the
of
morning.
messages that he hadn't responded to. Correct?
Correct.
Are you there? You there? You there? You there? You dead? You there? You dead? You dead? You there?
Now, that morning, when you left the house early, you've already testified that he was going to do chores, and then there was some text about the dump. Did Mr. Halderson say he was going anywhere else that you knew of that morning?
Not at that time.
Did he say anything to you about going to Fleet Farm, that's kind of farm supply store out near Windsor that morning?
Not that I recall.
Did you know he was going there?
No.
I'll stop.
Move to display 530.
You may.
Is that Chandler walking in the Fleet Farm?
Yes.
And if that was a screenshot of a video taken that morning just after you left, you don't know anything about why you'd be there, right?
I know it's echoing. It's because, look, so when it plays through the audio for me, which then is captured by this shit over here, this window. And so that's why it echoes. To undo it, I would have to mute shit and then play it, and it would lose the comedic effect. I was going to do it twice. Get over it. Get over it. The fucking echo. I don't care about your echo. Your echo can eat itself. It can eat shit because echoes are shit and they can eat themselves.
No.
It's StreamYard. StreamYard has shit audio management.
At some point that day, after you left, did you notice that Chandler was in a, did you look at his Snapchat map to look at where he was?
Yes.
And did you become worried or concerned in some way?
Yes.
Showing it's been marked as exhibit number 532. What is that?
A screenshot of Chandler by the Wisconsin River.
Okay. And how's he labeled? What's his name there?
Hubby,
And what time is that?
8:58.
Okay. I think previously I said the second, I meant the third. We're now into Saturday, but was this taken on Saturday morning?
Yes.
Okay. Why did you take this screenshot of Chandler's location?
I didn't know why he was there, and so I was curious.
Did you know where this location was?
Yes.
And how did you know where this location was?
I'd been there before with Chandler.
Tell us about it.
It's a little spot where we can park our car and walk down to the Wisconsin River for swimming.
How many times do you think you've been there?
Two or three times.
No, move to publish 532.
You may. Was it received? Okay.
Is this that screenshot?
Yes.
And that's the location, right?
Yes.
What did you do when you saw that?
Pardon?
Yeah, what did you do when you saw that location? You took a screenshot. Did you do anything else with that information?
I asked him what he was doing there.
And what did he respond?
He was going to pick up CBD and he was passing through there.
He was passing through. Did you try to call him?
Yes.
Were you able to talk to him?
Yes.
Do you recall anything else from that conversation about what he said or why he was where he was?
He was picking up CBD for the pain. He didn't want to tell me that he was picking up CBD because he was scared I was going to be disappointed in him.
And around that time,
Sure, she was picking up
that you
CBD.
took that screenshot. Was that when all of these messages were being sent that we looked at in this exhibit where no one was responding to you? Ending with, hey, did you pass out?
Are you on copious amounts of CBD right now? Is that why
That was
every question
before
takes
I took the screenshot.
30 minutes to answer?
Same morning though?
Same morning, yes.
Were you having trouble communicating with Chandler that morning between 8 and 9, essentially?
Yes.
Prior to, well, I said a different way. When was the last time you were at that location, that out by the Wisconsin River with Chandler, approximately?
That summer with his friend Smith.
Is that Andrew Smith?
I don't know his first name. He always just went by Smith.
Okay. What was your understanding of how Chandler knew this Smith guy?
They were video game buddies.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough for now. There's 50 minutes left of her testimony minus some very short breaks. So I'm gonna wrap this one up for tonight and maybe resume it tomorrow. Because there's 50 minutes of 50 minutes of this plus another 23 minutes of cross-examination from the defense. So not going to do that tonight because it's already 2:30 in the morning. I still have to read super chats and I need to go to bed because I got to be up and broadcasting at 8 a.m., which is 5.5 hours from now. And I'm not even asleep yet. So we'll figure that out. Bob Piffle says an important question. Favorite RPG game? It depends on what you mean by RPG. Because like I really do enjoy D&D as like a tabletop RPG, right? But if you're talking about video games, I mean MMORPG, my favorite was probably EverQuest. Non-MMO, Morrowind, Daggerfall, or Skyrim, depending on what I'm in the mood for. JRPGs, I guess like probably Vandal Hearts. Vandal Hearts, Final Fantasy 6 in the US, 3 in Japan. Chrono Trigger. I like those a little bit more than 7. So there you go. That's my list, I guess. Vandal Hearts is fucking great, by the way. I really do like Final Fantasy Tactics also, but I like Vandal Hearts more. So there you go. There you go. Baldur's Gate 2. I never actually finished playing the Baldur's Gate games. I did like Neverwinter Nights, but I was pretty far with my wizard and I lost the save file and then I was never able to get back into it all the way. Chrono Trigger is number 1. Chrono Trigger is a good game, man. Really good game. Okay, we've got some chats to read. Radicalized Ryan sent a coin comment over on Odyssey. And Great US says, I mentioned similarweb.com for site traffic. December numbers were surprising to me. USA.life, Free Talk, and Clout Hub, less than 600K. Minds, 1.4 million. Parlor, 1.9 million. Locals, 2.5 million. Getter, 5.7 million. MeWe.com, 9.7 million. Gab, 18.5 million. I couldn't think of others to search. What was Twitter? Like how those are interesting numbers. How do they compare to Twitter? I'll go ahead and read through these. Elizabeth Beardsley says, as a psychotherapist, I agree. It's insane to not be able to read facial expressions. Yeah. They should not allow her to testify with a mask on. And to Just Jenny, she says, your night streams are a dream for insomniacs or for people who work night shift like me. Well, don't forget, normally, not today, because I have to get a little bit. I've been very, very tired, short on sleep the past couple of days, but I do have to get a little bit of sleep. But normally I would do a Twitch stream as well after the YouTube show. So if you haven't been over there, we're closing in on 20,000 Twitch followers on Ricada Law, twitch.tv/Ricada Law. closing in on 20,000 followers, in which I will be doing a thought yoga stream in some yoga pants with some embarrassing lack of flexibility, I should say. So if you're interested in my thought streams, which are their thing, they're their own thing. We'll see how that goes. How did teaching go? It didn't. It got canceled by the extreme cold and the blizzard. So, so there you go. We're gonna read through these super chats over here though, and we'll get those done. Still owe us a 24-hour streak. I know. I just haven't had look for a 24-hour stream. You want a 24-hour streak, that's a little much. 24-hour streams require one very important and specific thing, and that is 36 hours. Because I have to have some time on either side of the 24-hour stream for some sleep. And I have not had 36 uninterrupted hours in a year, in a fucking year where I could do that. So hopefully very soon. We'll figure something out. Lethal Burrito says, I think Ethan Klein is responsible for the swatting of Tim Pool. He's an attention-seeking man boy in a current meltdown over his own behavior. Lost Valley says, Nick is later than Jack Murphy's wife after Matt from Tinder was done with her. Two Sugoi for you says, I think Ian Chungus swatted Tim because he wanted Lydia's feet pics. Chase Thomas says, Chris Chan swatted Tim. Squizgar says, could it work in Firefox or Edge? Edge is Chrome based, so I don't think so. And I actually use Edge for StreamYard right now because Chrome was lagging out. So I switched over to Edge and I don't think it works there. I'll have to check Brave. Otherwise, I know there's a way to translate the signal into something StreamYard can use. I just don't know what it is exactly yet, but I'll work on it. Okay. Timothy Reaper says, whose body parts are in the bag, Ricada? Well, this guy asked me to hold on. Chandler's mom, probably. John Michael Mansfield says, you late and homo fluid grifter. First super chat ever. Have been watching you since everything started going down with Vic. Have been enjoying listening to you ever since while I'm at work every night. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Chain Breaking Sage says, just got done with my monthly allowance for simping. I am Insanity says, going to be honest, haven't been following you for long. Wanted to give you a few bucks before I blow my brains out on the 19th. You made me laugh when the voices said, kill yourself. Wait, I am Insanity. Do not blow your brains out on the 19th. Don't do that. You better fucking check in with me. No. Do not do it. You are worth more than that. It's a cry and shame says January 6, 2022 is my youngest son's 6th birthday. Cheers to Sullivan. The Anime Collector says, can we get SWAT from Tinder trending? Hey, how you doing, the Anime Collector? Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. Hope everything's going well. Z. Michael Gelke says, just proof that they can't build anything. They didn't even come up with January 6th. They just borrowed it from the German Reichstag fire. Lol. Sam Walters, thank you for the donation. Isaac Bowles says, see Tim Pool got swatted today. Terry Wuckfit says, what about orchestration of the invasion by person or persons unknown, except to the feds? Epps and a few others springs to mind. I'm not saying it did happen. Emphasize says civilians and officials other than the Pentagon cannot be held to a military standard of mental stability. Any mental health expert to second this. Sam Walters says, love the show. I'm an audio engineer and you can likely do this for free. Use virtual webcam ndi.tools/TV. It captures the audio separately. I'll have to check that out. Let me see if I'm going to put that in my web browser right now. Take a look at it. I don't know when, probably after the show tomorrow. Oh, fucking hell. NDI.tools TV, that didn't load up for me. NDI.TV. Got it. Okay. We'll figure it out. MKEOD says, if a mob of unarmed randos can overthrow democracy in a single afternoon, I'm going to declare myself God Emperor of Minnesota. How hard can it be? Do it. I'll support you. Tara Rayner says, Nick, awesomest Canadian to ask if you have ever seen the leaked Zoom meeting in October 2020 shared by Millie Weaver. It's her pinned tweet, must watch. Is that the Gretchen Whitmer one? I haven't watched it yet. I think you sent it to me, but I haven't gotten around to watching it yet. Mr. Lulzbot says an insurrection is what is happening in Kazakhstan right now. Yes, where the government completely resigned due to what was going on. Alice in Wonderland asks, what does swatted mean? It means that someone calls the police and reports a false, very violent crime in the hopes that the police will barge in to a place when no crime has been committed, right? So your neighbor's been doing something that pisses you off. So you know your neighbor's home. You call the police and you say, yeah, over at so-and-so's at this address, there's been a shooting with dead people and the person has a kid held hostage. So the idea is that the cops come in hot. They kick down the door or whatever, and they freeze motherfucker with their guns. And sometimes people recently have died from stuff like that. But usually the idea is that the police just really scare the people. It's a shitty thing to do, and it puts officers and people in danger. Selrin says, at our family Christmas, one of my cousins refused to leave his room or even speak through his door for fear of COVID. We're in California, but it was still sad. Wrestler Town says, we lose because we give them fuel. When we preface the 6 by saying we don't like that it happened, they win because when they burn down cities, they cheer it, blame us, and claim it was righteous. Randy Chase says, how about times the left stormed the Capitol? The Dems sent pizza to Black Lives Matter. Cuck Flake got held in the elevator during the Kavanaugh hearing. Joseph Fazio says, constitutional republic that practices democracy. Yeah, I did not say we were democracy, by the way. I said we use democratic processes for our elections when I was talking about election stuff. STFU says it was 9/11 times 2,367, and no one knows what that equals. He also says, never kill your enemy while he's committing suicide. Squizgar says, has anyone explored the defense that maybe the parents shot themselves in the back and chopped themselves up and burned their own body parts? Plausible. El Gonzo 1000 says, chopping up the upload like their parents. AZ Beauty 7 says, it's his girlfriend's mom's girlfriend's farm. Sarah Swanson says, will you be doing a live stream tomorrow for the oral arguments at the Supreme Court? That is currently the plan. Graham Sussex says, Tim posted a video on his Instagram explaining what happened. There's a possibility. There's a distinct possibility that I will have to break up the 2 live streams tomorrow based on another thing that's going on. I have to see if I can figure that out. I think I can figure it out, though. So I don't want to talk about it too much, but I have something else going on. I may have to break up the streams tomorrow for several hours, but I think I've got it. Graham Sussex says, Tim posted a video on his Instagram explaining what happened. John O'Mara says, all the jack-offs in MSM Congress conveniently forgot about Ashley Babbitt. I'm retired LEO, and I still want to know why that cop isn't in jail for murder. What bullshit. Matthew Spriggs says, Ian said he was about to run out to pee before the police knocked. Imagine him running down the stairs, getting tased, and peeing himself. Oh, that would have been good. Why is he running out to pee? Oh, out of the studio. But there's a bathroom right there in the studio. Madeline says, rackets, prepare yourself. Testimony in the Wisconsin Chopper trial today involved topless lesbians in an above-ground pool. No, it didn't. Barco Verrer, Tim Pool swatted himself to distract from the Jack Murphy fiasco. I don't think so. I doubt it. Dingus Khan says, legend says IMC swatted a writer and the police blew up a golden retriever's head with a flashbang. The dog was show quality. Hashtag pay for pupper. MKEOD says, sometimes I think Ian Miles Cheong forgets he doesn't actually live here. I swear I once saw him tweet about problems at our southern border. He's LARPing as an American political commentator. Yeah, where is he? Where is he?
Thank you, Swing.
Swing. Michael Turgeon says, was this during Tim's IRL live stream? When was this? Yes, tonight. Mike Cuckold says, Mark Richards calling in as the Timcast swatter with Earl Grey working dispatch. No. He's in Malaysia. So wait. So he's over in the Far East, and he had to have some American guy swatted because of the threat to his parents? Are his parents over in the Far East too? The austere gentleman, welcome to super lawyer status. Very cool. Thank you. Nicholas Cruiser says, is it just me, or is there a lot of crossover between Friday Night Tights, EFAP, the real BBC, and this stream? Hi, Rags. I mean, sort of. I'm friends with most of those guys. Haven't gotten to be on EFAP yet, but hope to make that happen with Mahler and Rags at some point in the near future. Die Ghostfish says, Cheong says, quote, I didn't pretend to be direct witness or hostage in the house and did not say he was an immediate threat, just an armed potential one. Philip Booty says, favorite Andy Worski stream was the Adam Race Worski tweets at Hasbro stream. Watching Andy realize how many Fed lists he was on, or he was being added to, was top notch. SCFU says, if I was a leftist and wanted to swat a conservative, it'd never be a resident of a GOP hotspot like West Virginia. If caught, they're gonna Jack Murphy that bitch. Romo Drummer says, any word when the Dumpster Bros trial will it be televised, and will you be covering it? That trial will be entertaining to watch. It's been pushed back to at least April, if not September. I got conflicting reports, but at least April. Nope, hell nope says, certain fools are besmirching my birthday today, and YouTube is censoring my calls to ingest C2H60 to improve it. Is that bleach? William Barnes says the perception of Tim isn't center left or right wing. It's that he's such a fence sitter that even Vlad Tepes thinks the fence posts went too far up. 1970s Viva Fry says, why is Nick so insecure about Attorney Tom? He's only 6 inches taller than him. Doesn't make you less of a man, Nick. Well, maybe 6 inches left. The defamation of Attorney Tom will not go unremembered. Timothy Reaper says, pay for the pupper, Ian. This austere gentleman says, I'm new, so good evening to you. But I wanted to ask, what are your thoughts on Legal Eagle and his interpretation of law? Let me summarize him. There you go. Daniel Tome says, I don't want to be that guy, but I've been watching religiously since Kyle's trial. That was where I became a Racadian. Twitch.tv/juggalo_Debo. Awesome. Thank you. Mark Geed says, my rent just got jacked up by $300 today, but at least I didn't get pegged or went bald. SCFUFFS says, West Virginia Code Section 55-7-26. First responders who use force entry in response to 911 call, limited immunity from civil and criminal liability. Now, Tim isn't in West Virginia, though. Thomas Stein says, I bet it was Nick who swatted Tim. He knows the address, and someone told him not to swat. So naturally, Nick was like, don't tell me what not to do. Crasputin, thank you for the donation. A Horrible Gamer says, please play the clip of Tucker ripping Ted Cruz a new one on TV, called him a liar to his face. Not going to do that because it's we're going to be at 4 hours by the time I'm done. I need to go to bed. Deadweight Nero says, this stream goes so hard. Feel free to clip. Bogey34 says, hey, Nick, I DM'd you the 6-minute Tucker Ted Cruz interview. Tucker made him look dumb as his comments. Worth the watch. Would love to get your take. I'm not going to do it tonight. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Nick is a Ted Cruz fan, confirmed. I made no bones about it. That I have typically liked Ted Cruz. I thought he got a lot better when he added the beard. I thought he became a lot more personal. personable. But if he was stupid enough to go on national TV and said that January 6th was a terrorist attack on Tucker Carlson's show, then that's just a bad miscalculation on his part, and a little disappointing for him. So, whatever. But I don't particularly care about Ted Cruz or anything. I think he was a great attorney as Texas Solicitor General, hollowing out Obama administration lawyers left and right. If he did it on the floor of Congress, it doesn't matter. I mean, wherever he did it publicly, it's just not good. Don't give in to that narrative. Not applicable says, yeah, that pretty much ends his career, even for me. Urban X Urban says, the only thing I learned today is that without the scripted, well thought out, and memorized arguments, Tim Pool is simply a kid yelling and stomping, hey, the doormat says no warrant, no entry. Evie Warner says, how do I send you personalized shot glass? My P.O. box is in the description of every video, every live stream at least, including this one. You can send it there. McGuffin Doe says, do K-9 units violate due process? In my opinion, yes. Do exigent circumstances violate the Fourth? They can. They can, for sure. Kyle Cluckin says, in Minnesota, the government elects you. Fusion Evo says, Nick, you make the money on the stock trades. Do I trade stocks? Luke Pearson says, friendly reminder that the Australian government arrests left-wing journalists without warrants specifically for criticizing former government ministers. See Friendly Geordies for details. Screw ScoMo. Ray J's World says, can Trump sue Biden for defamation for calling Trump a racist? Racist is typically going to be, I don't think it should be, but it's typically going to be a protected opinion. Deluxe 247 says, it's not who you vote for, it's who counts the votes. Stephen Robertson says, Kerry Lake for Arizona governor, broadcaster to politics. Hope it works out for us. Jason O'Mara says, second try, no idea what happened in the first. I said no, I don't. I said it's convenient. MSN Congress forgot about Ashley Babbitt. Oh, I read $20 super chats first, and then I go back and read the rest. So sorry about that. I'm retired law enforcement. Still want cop who shot her tried for murder. Spelled her right. I just hadn't gotten to your first one yet. Ryoji Mata says the family of the son who turned his dad in has disowned him, and he's been removed from their home. That's why he's crying again. Good. Can you imagine? I'm going to turn my family member into the police. Oh yeah, that's great. Be a good little fucking commie. The austere gentleman says thoughts on legal eagle in his view of the law. I answered earlier, but my answer remains. AZ Beauty 7 says Chaz Halderson left the body parts at his girlfriend's mom's girlfriend's farm. 2 females who were in the farm pool testified today. Oh no. Oh, is that the topless lesbian action? That'll be interesting. Matt McGee says, if this is the 23-minute video, it only starts at the cross exam. Matthew Self says, the chat has morals. No. Randy Chase says, just lost my vote. Hannibal. Circus Zero says, yeah, chopping up a body is hard work. Take a bite. Got to keep that energy. Chank Sautomi says, no cannibalism. He's a murderer, not a CNN host. Whale Ears says, she keeps the mask on to hide her lies. She did it. The Neo Amish podcast says, you know who worked up an appetite cleaning up the blood and gore? Murder or not, a man's got to eat. 3 Dark Lord, welcome to paralegal status. Spec says they are public defenders. Thank you for answering that question. Rocco Rockwell says, I'm so drunk. 32-ounce Long Island and 32-ounce White Russian at League Bowling tonight, lol. Love what you do. Whoo-hoo, that's a lot of liquor, homie. Make sure you sleep that one off and get lots of water in you. SCFU says, I'm starting to believe in your Black Widow theory. One Step Too Far says spirit cooking recipes. Hallucinosis. It says Caucasian culture, you racist. The ball sagger says, girlfriend is sus AF. The nose knows. Randy Chase says, if Chaz was only on the farm once the day before, how would he know where to start hiding body parts? This biatch was in on it 100%. STFU says, objection, the fridge brand is not established. Matt McGee says, hey, Nick, can you speed up the video? I answered this in chat earlier. I know people want me to play it at like 1.5 or 2 times speed. I don't do that for a specific reason. The jury sees it at full speed, not at double speed, not at 1.5, not at 1 1.25. I did that for a little bit of Judge Chu during voir dire because she was repeating the same stuff. It was really boring. And that wasn't what the jury was witnessing. That was her giving the instructions and stuff like that. As far as witnesses, no, I like to play them at normal speed so people get an impression of what is being said, how the jury is seeing it, so they can make those kind of determinations. W Colonial Boy. Wait, no, Abe Eckstein says, is that an emotional support dog? No, it's the court reporter. W Colonial Boy says, Kyle Rittenhouse said he was looking for a thick girl. Seems like a case of synchronicity to me. I believe she is of Mexican descent. Heimet Los says he was actually playing World of Warcraft. Abe Eckstein says, do they always allow emotional support dogs in Wisconsin courts? She doesn't have an emotional support dog. That's the court reporter's head. It's the top of the court reporter's head. Evie Warner says they saved the scuba gear for role play during Tinder dates. Mark Gee says A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z, the alphabet according to prosecution. Yes, they left out. Oh, no, it says A, C, D. Damn it. They left out B and N. That was perfect, and I screwed it up. Sorry. I said the B reflexively. It's a small girl says, I'm confused. They have the fancy clip-on microphones, but have old school glary projectors. Also, how did the girlfriend think all of this was normal? I don't know. Shinchan 256B says, see, that's the way it goes though, right? Like, oh no, everything's fine and normal. It's a little weird, but it's not that weird. And then suddenly chopped up bodies. And suddenly chopped up bodies. It's a small girl says, I'm confused. They have the fancy clip-on microphones. Oh, wait, no, sorry. Shinchan 256B says he just wanted her follow up with an I, then he would follow up with a G, then she with a G, switching back and forth with an E and R. It's old code for farm equipment, like a wheelbarrow or a shovel. Oh, okay, so they were going to do like a tower texting thing, right? I got it. Not applicable says guy should have come clean and got a job. Real sad stuff. Canel Ryan says, are women really this gullible? JFC, I can't even. Randy Chase says the DA looks like a fat Eric Swalwell, even has the same blinky eye twitch too. The Reddit Silver member says, no wonder she wanted to wear a mask. I would want to hide my face from embarrassment too if I had looked at an $800,000 house and it was shown in court. Edie Hill says parents have life insurance. Big house planned by both. Blazecast says she's out of his league. Mastermind convinced him to be the guinea pig for her plan to kill all the parents, use all insurance to retire in Florida. The end is near. Beware says, did Chandler ever have issues shaving his sack? Did he use his mom's razor? Was his stroke game still strong? Amateur Ant says, I think the girlfriend is going to use a Chewbacca defense. Otto Rommel says, Binger wishes he could simp with this witness and brag about lapel pins. Austin Olson says, at 23, my parents couldn't ground me because I own my own house, like an adult. Love you most. 326 says, if he's an omelet, the defense attorney is shaped like a dumpling. Mark Sermon says, this case has it all. Crispy Ginger says she wants the big house, so she convinces the simp to kill his parents for the insurance money. As Cyber Taz says, what would you say to a Las Vegas lawyer sending a spurious and fraudulent cease and desist letter to Mersh from Nightwave Radio other than get effed? I would say Mersh would probably want to tell them to get effed, but I haven't seen the letter. That sounds funny though. Not applicable says behind every patricide, there's some gold digger. New dislike button says, is she hot or not? I don't care about what she's saying until I know. Sorry, I just can't. I'm 22 and horny. I'm a peacock captain. You got to let me fly. She's pretty. I mean, she's pretty. She's pulled her mask down a couple of times. We don't have any direct ons because she turns away from the camera to take the drink, which is interesting because she said she was wearing the mask for COVID, but I don't think so. I think she's wearing the mask for the camera. But I mean, she's pretty. Seems pretty enough. JL says, objection. The prosecutor saw her honkers and now has a chub, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor. I'm going to have to ask the prosecutor to go ahead and adjust his pant line a little bit. It seems that he's thinking about the defense or the witness. Sorry, I get them mixed up sometimes. The witness's hoo-has and her ha-has and her ta-tas while she's on the stand. And it's kind of weird. He's pointing at the jury, but not with his hands, if you know what I'm saying. Shinobi Assault says, seems to be choosing her words to not self-incriminate. John Smith says, honestly, if my parents were trying to ground me at 23, I'd eat them too. Neozede says, can't defense get her testimony stricken as she is feeble-minded to believe any of the SpaceX super diver obvious lies? Bobby Broadway, I'm not doing Jesse Ventura. Jesse Ventura is a different voice. Very different voice. Not applicable says, the true crime weirdo ladies are loving this. Margee says, I submit this woman as evidence to repeal the 19th. Michelle Gregory says, why does the defense keep objecting to the text being added to the record? I find your explanations helpful. Thank you. The defense in this case doesn't have much to go with. So trying to object to things that'll probably be let in, that could help make an argument for a mistrial, that's what you got to try. You got to try that. You got to try something because they're not going to do much better. Born a Hawkeye says, the testimony of her mom's girlfriend swimming naked in the pool when Sea Dazzle jumps in to wash off after dumping the bodies is awesome. Wait. Does Chester jump in the pool with naked moms? That's pretty interesting. Bad Dragonite says, you're grounded. John Smith says, no, it's scary. These are Zoomers, not millennials. Yeah, well, everybody's a millennial but me. Automata says, Krause, sometimes you just got to take an eating. Elizabeth Beardsley, read that one. Born a Hawkeye says, he was more concerned about her opinion of him taking CBD versus the fact that he chopped up his parents and burned them in the fireplace. Eric Winberg says, thanks, this is great. Arm Vapor says, was that you, Gage? So sent a Twitter DM about a cop shooting through a fence and killing a guy in Canton, Ohio on New Year's. Yeah, the guy was shooting an AR-15 into the air. I don't know that he needed to be shot, but there you go. Bobby Broadway says, can you sing us a Screeching Weasel song? No, I don't know what that is. Wolfgang Deo says, hope you had a merry insurrectmas. Malik Foxon says, 2 years as a super lawyer. Says, here's to 2 more. Love the show, and we'll keep supporting you as long as you keep making me laugh while keeping me aware of what's law and going on in court. Well, for the foreseeable future, to infinity and beyond. Wolfgang Deo says, I stopped by the Law & Order live stream of the girlfriend testifying and left a super chat saying the girlfriend framed him and bought the supplies. AK Robbie says the testimony of Kat's mom and Kat's mom's girlfriend did involve testimony about topless lesbians. It also explains Kat's comment about her culture. And Redbeard, welcome to paralegal status. Very happy to have you here. Is that, I think that's it. Yep, that's here over on YouTube and on Odyssey. To the chat, thank you guys for hanging out with me tonight. Remember, 8 a.m. Central Time, showtime. I'm going to set the live stream for 7:45 a.m. Central. I'm going to be later than that, but before 8 is the plan. And I will see you guys then. Like I said, I might have to break up that live stream tomorrow. I hope not. I think I got a good fix for it. So, but we're going to figure it out. All right. All right, guys. I will. Wolfgang Deo says, you missed my super chat. This one. Yes. I will see you tomorrow morning or tomorrow night. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I will catch you next time. Peace, guys. Peace.
drinks a fair bit, but you realize that it just helps get his noggin jogging along. With his glass by his side and his kids asleep tight, we'll hear some lost planning tonight. With his microphone muted, we'll laugh at this boomer until he explains it's all part of the plan. Watch his face become redder as he becomes meta, raging at idiots from Twitterland. From the white shores of Maine to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed, make the law what we have now. Oh, his lady is fair, and she handles herself with the grace of one who has borne many children. As the wife of a lawman, she makes sure that he has the time and the place to provide for them there. So pour out an Ardbeg, a Balmore, a Lethbrook. The spirits flow as the ones who get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost planning tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have now. Oh, the guests are all plentiful, from Dante to Drexel. They bring their perspective and spice to the mix. But the reason we're here and the one that we cheer is the one who is showcasing us his career. Get unemployed. So pour out a glass for the tea post on Twitter as we hear lost planning tonight. From the white shores of Nairn to the hills of Glenlivet, there's no one who explains the law better than Nick. So pour out a glass for the ones who have passed to make the law what we have